swimming superstars are back in the spotlight.
Every time I get behind the block, I kind of ask myself, how much do you want it?
Still doing everything I can in the water just to put myself in the best shape.
Get in, get the job done, get out.
It's all one line. What are you willing to do for it?
Stepping up on the blocks and it's dead quiet. You can only hear your heart beating, and I think that's one of the most alive feelings you'll ever have.
Good evening and welcome to Nine's live coverage of the Australian Open here at the Gold Coast Aquatic Centre. I'm Matt Welsh, joined by MC Bomb, and after a great heat session this morning, what are you looking forward to tonight?
I'm excited to see the 200 backstrokes, obviously an event close to our heart, Matt, but Kayla McEwen, in a world of her own, holds the world record in that 2:03.14, so I'm excited to see how close she can get to that. Obviously, we also have the women's 100 freestyle, which is in another exciting race. Look, Molly O had a beautiful swim this morning, well in front of the field, but we did have that dead heat with Shayna Jack and Olivia Wunsch there. So fantastic to see. Matt, what are you looking forward to?
Yeah, those fingernails onto the touchpad were very, very close there. I think the men's 100 freestyle as well, similar to the women's, is going to be a really tight battle. Kyle Chalmers fastest through, had a great heat swim this morning. But for me, the standout swim was Bailey Lello's swim in the 200 breaststroke, going through fastest in front of the Olympic champion in Zach Stubblety-Cook. So plenty of action tonight. Let's have a look at the program.
As we can see, a massive night of racing ahead, starting off with that men's 50 backstroke into the women's 100 breaststroke. We'll be looking at Tui in that one as we head into the men's 400 freestyle, the women's 400 freestyle multiclass, men's 400 free multiclass, into that 200 backstroke with Kaylee, like we said.
Yeah, Kaylee will be the one to beat in that event. The men's 200 butterfly up next, followed by the women's 100 freestyle, another one to watch for tonight, followed by a couple of 50 butterflies for the multi-class women's and men, before we move into the men's 200 metres breaststroke, another one to watch.
Into that women's 400 individual medley, the men's 100 freestyle, that will be a great battle. We had some fantastic swims in those 48s, 49s, everyone in that sub 50 seconds. So a great battle for that. The women's 200 freestyle MC, the men's 200 freestyle MC, the women's 50 butterfly, and finishing out for those individual spots is those women's 800 freestyle. So that's where we'll see Lani Pallister come into play.
And then we're finishing the night with our club relays, the 4x100 medley relay for men and for women. So as you can see, a big night to start the action here at the Australian Open. We're joined in commentary by Matt Thompson, who's in the commentary booth. I hope you got a comfy seat. It's going to be a big night.
All ready to go. Thank you, Matt. It looks beautiful, this competition pool at the Gold Coast Aquatic Centre. The water glistening under the spotlights, and there's a real buzz of anticipation, as there should be, given the quality of swimmer that will be competing throughout the next 3 hours or so. You've done a great job of giving us an overview of what we should look forward to, and we're kicking things off with the 50-metre splash and dash of the men's 50 metres backstroke, with Isaac Cooper trying to defend his national title. He's also the Australian record holder. He swam 25.57 this morning. Matt and Em, he looked pretty comfortable in qualifying in lane 5.
Yeah, he had a good heat swim this morning, as you said, Matt, and he will be the one to beat. He's definitely gone faster, but you just never know in the 50 back, and we've seen it time and time again. One thing goes wrong and it's anyone's race.
You can see he holds that Australian record, that 24.12, so we definitely know he's got more in the tank. He's only 22 years of age as well. We have to remember that. I think with his program, he likes to train a bit like Cam McAvoy, so
less Ks, but really focusing on that speed, that power, and also getting to the wall first. So he will be the one to watch, but definitely it will be a strong field out there tonight.
Yeah, not just the 50 backstroke in his regime, the 50 fly, the 50 free. So he really is that sprinter, isn't he?
So box office Benny Hance lines up. One of our multi-class superstars in lane 3, Brad Woodward, was 4th in this event in the previous Commonwealth Games back in 2022. And Enoch Robb made his Dolphins debut recently in the short course event in 2024. So the favourite undoubtedly Isaac Cooper. But as you've already pointed out, in a 50-metre event, there is no room for error whatsoever.
Take your marks.
Strongly off the blocks, as always, Isaac Cooper. A powerful start from our reigning national champion. He swims in lane 5. Mark Nikolaev, now representing Australia, the swimmer in lane 4. But Cooper looks to be in front, and he's starting to surge away from them. He's so powerful. And Isaac Cooper has gone to the wall. Oh, he's been touched out by Nikolaev. What a stunning finish. Cooper looked like he had it in control, but Nikolaev surged late. And he's got there in 25.20. We've got a new national champ.
Yeah, very nice swim there from Nikolaev. Had good control through the race, had a great start. I actually really like Kalani Island's start as well out in lane 9. Just couldn't quite hold it through for the race. But you can see there, it was Nikolaev in lane 4. Fastest qualifier from this morning. Isaac just not able to get up.
What a finish on the wall, a battle, 25-2-0. Cooper there with that second touch, 25-3-0, not much in it. Woodward taking that third touch, 25-8-2. Very close there. Dead heat for that third touch. McDonald there, 25-8-2 as well.
Well, Em, I'm going to say that's a little bit of an upset in the first race of the night.
Well, he did qualify first this morning, and he finishes first tonight. Matt Welsh is ready to interview our champion now.
We're just having a quick little chat. About half a second off your best. Nice swim though tonight.
It was pretty good. The only problem I had was in the breakout, pretty bad. Something to work on.
Why was it bad? Tell me.
I'm experimenting with something. I guess I wasn't fully prepared.
Fair enough. Now, very much the backstroke sprints at the 50 and 100. Does that sort of set you up for a good 100 later on the meet?
Hopefully, we'll see tomorrow. I'm excited about it.
Oh, you just got to turn and come back, obviously, but get in out of that speed. What can you do to change up your breakout and make sure you get it right in the 100?
I mean, I have the morning swim with the true breakout, so there's my experimentation there.
Fair enough. We look forward to seeing it. Awesome, mate. What nice work.
Well done, Mark Nikolaev, formerly competed as a Russian athlete and now calls Australia home. And a new national champ. Well done to him. Isaac Cooper still with some room for improvement. I think, like you pointed out to us for those watching earlier this morning, Em, and not so sure that all these athletes have tapered in preparation for this. Maybe Isaac Cooper in amongst those.
Nikolaev there, your open champion. As we look now, this is your B final. The boys getting another chance to come back, swim again, and hopefully improve from heat to final.
Take your marks.
So a good start from the swimmer in lane 6, Matt Magnuson. Anthony Bosunis in lane 5 next to him. And then Haller and Lavelle, who started in lane 4. and also Pyrrhus, our Sri Lankan visitor, over at the top of the pool. It's going to come down to the wall once again. Hard to know who's in front. It's a Ryder Lambert, swimming from lane 3. He's a Southport local, and he gets there in the V final to touch in first position.
Well, the 50's all important now that they're on the Olympic program, and MC-Bomb, it's really about all of those skills, getting them right time and time again, and really interesting to hear a winner, Mark Nikolaev, in the 50A final. Not happy with his breakout, and you really just have to get everything right, don't you?
You definitely do. Lambert doing a great job of being able to improve from heat to final a little bit faster than this morning. So that is that #1 goal, is to improve from heat to final. Obviously, we do chase personal best. It does get quite hard at that open level to get to that exceptional level of your personal best time. So just to improve is an amazing achievement as we look now to the next event on the program. This is your women's 100-meter breaststroke.
Some of the big guns assembling here, including the 17-year-old Sienna Tui, who made her Dolphins debut at the World Champs in Singapore.
So this is the first swim of the night for Ella Ramsey and Tara Kinder. They've got a 400 IM later on in the night, which will be very interesting to see.
And they swam heats of those two events this morning,
yes.
So this is a really big first day for both of those
It is a
women.
big program, but I think all eyes will be on Sienna Tui. She was second through, but only by about 0.2 of a second from this morning. But we know she's got that little bit more in her. The Australian record, Liesl Jones, 105.09. So a couple more seconds to drop to there, but this is going to be a very interesting race.
So Sienna Tui first shot to prominence at the Age Nationals last year. She broke the 16-year-old girls record, which Liesl Jones held since all the way back in 2002.
Take your marks.
So Ella Ramsey swimming out of lane 4, Sienna Tui in lane 5, Tara Kinder in lane 3. And it's a good start from Ramsey and Kinder, who were pretty much swimming side by side.
Yeah, very nice start there by Ella Ramsey in lane 4. Fastest qualifier and showing her speed in the first 50. This will be a very important turn onto the wall. They turn very close to each other, about a third of a second separating. And Ella Ramsey really putting herself in the box seat for this second 50.
There was a terrific turn there by Ramsey. She's opened up a little advantage on Sienna Tui. And then Tara Kinder, only narrowly in arrears of the leading duo. But have a look at this. It's bob for bob, stroke for stroke. And maybe Sienna Tui is starting to come home a little stronger. The 17-year-old from the Albury Club in southern New South Wales. We know she's a star of the future, and she's the Open champion. Great second 50 from Sienna Tui, who's been working hard on her back end. She's actually taken up the 200 breaststroke as well, which is designed around trying to give her a better finish to her races, and it worked on that occasion. Second place, Ella Ramsey. Third to Tara Kinder.
Yeah, to come over the top of a swimmer of the likes of Ella Ramsey is no mean feat. And for the 17-year-old, Sienna Tui did a fantastic job. That last 25 just absolutely held on. And as you said, stroke for stroke there, Matt. But with 10 to go, there was no doubt she was going to get to the wall first.
So there we have it. The boom teenager, Sienna Tui, continues her rise, finishing ahead of a couple of seasoned Australian performers, Ella Ramsey and Tara Kinder. And the great news is that MC-Bomb is catching up with our winner poolside.
I am. I have Sienna Tui with me right now, the winner of that race. That was a fantastic race. That back end was so strong. Is that something that you're working on?
Yeah, it definitely is. I think getting me stronger in the second 50 is something I've always struggled with, like holding on towards the end. So definitely been like trying to get better at it, doing the 200 a bit more.
What a fantastic year you've had. You broke Liesl Jones's record just a year ago at the H Nationals. So how has this year been for you?
It's been very crazy. I think being my age and being like on the Dolphins is such like a thing that I didn't think that I could do like this early, but it's been a very good year.
It's fantastic to see you grow. I can't wait to see what else you do. What else have you got coming up?
I'm doing a couple of school carnivals in between now and trials, but the next one will be trials.
And we wish you all the best. Great job tonight. Sienna Tui, your Open champion.
Well done, Sienna. I don't know about you, Matt, but I think she's going to be pretty hard to beat at the school swimming carnival.
I reckon she'll get a ribbon or two for sure, maybe even a gold stamp. She's going to be strong at that. Gee, how would you feel going into your school carnival going, oh, who are you up against? Oh, Sienna Tui?
Yeah, might be racing for second.
Yeah.
Take your marks.
So our B final, Riedel Smith in lane 0, Lily McCowan lane 1, Charlotte Hanson lane 2, Kyla Brown lane 3. And then Zalika Pratt-Smith lane 4, Alana Torrance lane 5, Madison Stribe lane 6, Ava Rollinson lane 7, Isabella Vandermeer in lane 8, and Caitlin Ribbons rounds out the field in lane 9.
Well, these B finals so important for the experience of our swimmers. Wouldn't have been that long ago that Sienna Tui would have been swimming a B final and honing her skills, ready for her debut in the A final. And all of that experience gets them to the top. Some very experienced swimmers still in this field. The 19-year-old Alana Torrance from lane 5, right on the shoulder of our leader, Pratt-Smith, from the New Zealand club, a visitor. With 15 metres to swim, it does look like Pratt-Smith is bringing him strong home. And a good swim also on the outside, Lily McCowan out in lane 1.
But our New Zealand visitor goes on to win the B final. That is Zalika Pratt-Smith. Second position to Ava Rollinson out in lane 7. And then third to Alana Torrance.
Yeah, nice swim there from Ava Rollinson in that second 50. So B final swum as we see the highlights getting over on that touch turn in the breaststroke and bringing it home with 25 metres to go. Impressed with the skills of all the girls, both the A and B final. Touching on that full stroke, getting the full distance off their pull through split stroke. So we move now to, we see the results there for the B final. We move now to the men's 400 metres freestyle as they step out onto pool deck. 8 laps. Great heat swim this morning from the boys.
And one of Australia's favourite races on the back of many, many decades of enormous success at both Olympic and World Championship level. It's a who's who of Australian men's swimming. Murray Rose, Ian Thorpe, Kieran Perkins, Grant Hackett. And 2 of our previous world champions line up again. Elijah Winnington, the world champ from 2022, and Sam Short, who has been swimming in fantastic form. Our world champ from Fukuoka, 2023. He's had some great success swimming in the United States in recent months and actually just completed a block of altitude training. That was up in Arizona. He's coming off the back of that, arrived back in Australia about a week ago, and the team eagerly awaiting to see how he bounces off that altitude block into the Australian Open this week. Ben Godemans, former training partner of Ariane Titmus at St Peter's Western. I know she's got an enormous opinion of him. Charlie Hawke in lane 1, even Brendan Smith. We know him quite well. He's been around for a very long time. Olympic medalist, of course. He's out in lane 0.
Yeah, some of these races do turn into club championships for St Peter's Western. We've got about 4 of them in this meet.
Take your marks.
So Sam Short on form, you would think is the favourite going into this. He's swimming out of lane 3 next to our Kiwi visitor, Lewis Clareburt, who's been a regular for New Zealand at the Olympics and World Champs. Elijah Winnington from lane 5, and in lane 6, young Tex Cross, back from the World Juniors in Romania in August last year, where he set personal best times in the 4, the 8 and the 1500 free. And he swum very well in the heats this morning. In fact, was close up behind Sam Short in a heat that they contested together. So Sam led after 50, Clareburt in second position, then Cross and Winnington.
Yeah, some fantastic underwaters there from Lewis Clareburt. Saw Sam Short right next to him in lane 3, and he looked like he had the measure of him, but with 100 metres down, it is Sam who's definitely got the measure on the rest of the field. Tex Cross looking good, but Alex Mander there touching second in lane 7. So it is Sam Short with a very strong lead from the rest of the field. He's had a really good block of training, and you can see that he's absolutely on song. He really muscles the water, doesn't he, Em? It's not the most even of strokes, but he has so much strength and so much endurance that he makes it work.
He's really going out fast in this first 200 of this race. But we know Whittington has such a strong back end, so we'll wait to see what happens in that final 200 metres. But Short is definitely...
It's going to have to be strong, isn't it, to come over the top of that lead already?
Absolutely. Look at that lead that Short has. What a fantastic first 200 metres.
Undoubtedly, Whittington has a strong back end, but Sam Short is coming off an American stint where he beat 2 Olympic champs in the 800 metres. In Daniel Whiffen and Bobby Fink. He also won the 1500. So we know his distance swimming pedigree is very much elite. And he's out all by his own team in front. It's an incredible swim by the Queenslander, Sam Short.
Looks at this stage with 150 metres to go. It's going to be a battle for second. Alec Mander, got to say, doing a great job there in lane 7. Just holding off Elijah Winnington, who's starting to come back now. Only about 0.2 separating second and third, but it's a good 4 seconds in front is Sam Short. So the distance races really being Short's strength.
I can't see anyone catching him in this last 100 metres. He's really put himself on the line in that first 200 metres and holding on, and doesn't look ever so slightly like he's giving up at all. He's got strong legs, a strong stroke. He's up to that stroke rate ever so slightly. Whittington now in that second position. Mander still in that third position. And it's the battle in that last 100 metres. But look at Short. He is very much in control of this 400.
Yes, well, he took that out in the second 50 and has not looked like being headed ever since. The battle for second and third is very compressed. It's Whittington currently holding down second. Then Lewis Clareburt, Alec Mander, who swum a great race, and Tex Cross also still in the battle for a podium finish. But there is no doubting that Sam Short is back on top of his game. It is a demolition in the 400 freestyle final, and the world champ from 2023 goes in to win it by the best part of 5 body lengths. Second to Elijah Winnington, third to Lewis Clareburt, then Mander, then Cross.
Look, to think that's only 2 seconds away from Ian Thorpe's Commonwealth record. That was a fantastic swim for Short. He should be so happy with that. Really took it out so hard that first 100, 200, and was able to hold on to that massive lead. That 3:42.53. Whittington there with the second touch in that 3:46.36. Clareburt there in that third touch, a 3:46.86. But Sam Short really showed dominance in that 400 freestyle final. What a swim that was. Had the best, I think, start to a 400 I've ever seen. Just really came off those blocks firing and really wanted to show those boys what he could do. And it was something pretty impressive.
Have a look at the margin. Best part of 4 seconds. Sam Short from Elijah Winnington and Lewis Clarebird. Great swims by both Manda and Cross and Matt Galea, along with Ben Godemans.
So many of those boys under that 350 mark as well. That was fantastic to see, and a very close, tight final for those 4th to 7th athletes. A great job for 400-meter freestyle events. I think we have so much depth in those events. Obviously, we've been so strong in those events in the history. So we add another one to that. That is Sam Short taking that win, that 3:42.53.
And the man of the moment is with Matt Welsh.
I am down here with Sam Short. Sam, I'm so happy you did well in that race, not just because you're a fantastic swimmer, but I get to chat with you. That's what I've been looking forward to. I've been looking forward to chatting with you. Great swim, 3:42. Got to be happy.
Yeah, I honestly thought with the gap I had, I thought I was just doing something crazy, but yeah, no, it was 3:42. Got to be happy with that. Got off a plane a week ago from the States, so probably only just beat the jet lag. I think my aerobic's in a good spot, to be honest. I'm pretty keen for the 800 and 1500.
Yeah, you look terrible out there. The jet lag must be shocking, mate. But no, that's what I want to ask you about. Just come back from altitude training. How are you feeling?
Oh, I feel so fit. This morning was the easiest 3:48 I've ever done, so I was just couldn't really sit still today. I was so excited to get in here and give it a crack. Yeah, I feel so fit now. Just trying to do some pace work and get fast.
Well, look, 3:42 isn't that far off crazy, but it was a strong field. You did have an incredible lead. How are you feeling going? You said you're looking forward to the 8 and the 15. We got something a bit special?
Yeah, well, I went 7:40 in Chicago, 2 days getting off a plane to the States, so extra week. Then give it a red hot crack.
Awesome. We cannot wait to see it. Great work tonight. I look forward to having a chat with you later in the week.
Cheers. Thank you.
Not sure I've seen a swimmer who loves it as much as Sam Short. He's pumped up with his effort there, and he can't wait for more racing in both the 8 and the 15. Good to welcome Jake Templeton with us. We've got our multi-class stars taking to the pool deck, and first up, it's the women's 400-metre multi-class. Kate Wallington, very strong this morning, and looks like she might give Lakeisha Patterson a race.
Yeah, really looking forward to being here alongside yourself tonight, Tomo, Walshy and Em, and Kate Wallington's really going to push Lakeisha Patterson tonight. Lucky Lakeisha Patterson was fastest on points this morning, but it's also great to see our S19 swimmer Wallington. She's going to push Lucky all the way. It was just 0.17 of a second separating these two girls this morning. And Naka Higashi from Japan, our 24-year-old, was second on points, so great to welcome our visitors too.
So there she is, a Paralympic champ. 3 Paralympic gold medals, and 2 of them have come in this event, the 400 freestyle for Lakeisha Patterson.
She's 832 points this morning, so she didn't have to put the performance in that she did, but that's Lucky. I know Lucky, and she's a hard worker, she's a hard racer, and she was almost 100 points ahead of second on points this morning. And it is important to consider our classification system where we do look at the points, not always the time of the hand on the wall first. Let's wait to see all the point scores come through.
Take your marks.
So the 400 freestyle for our multi-class women underway. We've got a large cross-section of ages in this race. Mackenzie Gibbs in lane 1, 13 years of age from Sale, all the way out to Caitlin Kirby in lane 9, who's racing at the age of 31.
Broad array of ages and classifications here, Tomo, in this final, this 400-metre freestyle for our open multi-class athletes. It's going to be a race in the middle for mine. It's going to be Wallington and Patterson, although separate classifications. They're going to push each other, which is going to help, hopefully, get them to that best performance. And it's 31.45 for Wallington and 31.50 for Lakeisha Patterson through that first 50. keep an eye on Lucky, who is holding 35s and 36s consistently this morning. She's not going to go away when it comes to her splits all night tonight.
So the two that we were forecasting to be the hardest to beat, going stroke for stroke out in front at the moment, Patterson and Wallington. And Naka Higashi from Japan turning in third position. And then Sarah Howe, the 21-year-old from the St Hilda's Club, in fourth.
105.5 is a really strong start there from Lucky. So 4 minutes 40 this morning, 4 minutes 40.48 with a personal best of 4 minutes 36.68. So she's putting a bit of a gap here on Wallington. Our S19 swimmer, it's great that they're going to push each other as they come down to that third lap. This is where they settle into their stroke. They'll start to try to put a little bit more effort on in that fourth 50 to get that 200-metre split, and it's 1 minute 40.05 there for Lakeisha. That's a really strong showing. So 34 seconds on that third lap, and 1 minute 40.71 there for Wallington. And keep an eye out on our Japanese visitor too, Naka Higashi in lane 3.
So Lakeisha Patterson, she's used to being in front. She finished first in the S8 category in Rio all the way back in 2016, 10 years ago. Also won the S9 in Tokyo 2020, and most recently silver at the Paris Paralympics. Turning ahead of Wallington, only narrowly though. It's a fantastic race between these two out in front.
Yeah, just 0.2 of a second there, Tomo, at the halfway mark. And we can't forget Chloe Osborne over in lane 0. So she was third on points this morning, our 22-year-old Paralympian from Aquabits, 5 minutes 26. So keep an eye on Chloe. We know that the point scoring system can be a tricky one, but we know that the highest points here will win. So it's not over until the race is done, but out in front at the moment, it is a bit of a match race between Patterson and Wallington.
I think a match race is a great way to describe it.
It is. Wallington taking the lead there in that fifth 50, and it's going to come down to that last 100, and Lucky's not going to go anywhere.
And so Wallington with the better of the turn. She's opened up a lead of about half a body length at the moment. They've put a huge margin between the rest of the field.
Breathing different directions too, so it looks like Wallington is breathing a little bit of both ways, but Lucky breathing to her right, so, or her left, my apologies. So as she comes down this penultimate lap here, she's going to see Wallington, so hopefully she can make a little bit of a move to create this race tonight in this last 100. So 3 minutes 25. A second ahead is Wallington, 3 minutes 24. As they come down with 75 metres to go, there's going to be a bit of hurt on, but it looks to be Wallington.
Yeah, she doesn't look like she's in any sort of pain at the moment. Kate Wallington from all the way over in the west, from the City of Perth club, the 20-year-old, has a commanding lead over the Paralympic legend, Lakeisha Patterson.
Another 34-second split, whereas Lucky's now onto the 35, 36-second splits there, but both of these girls look like they're going to crack that 4 minute 40 barrier. We know that that's world-class. Going to be a great swim if she can crack that 440 as well. So she's gapped her here. There's 20 metres to go for Wallington. Lakeisha closing in on that final touch as well.
So a tremendous swim from Kate Wallington. Was happy to sit in Lakeisha's slipstream for the bulk of the race, maiden move with 150 to go, and goes in to win. 4 minutes 32.25. Patterson second, 4 minutes 36.15.
It's a really strong swim there from Lakeisha, 4 minutes 36, and let's not discount Wallington. A great swim there from Kate Wallington, 4 minutes 32, but might be a personal best time there from Lucky with a 4:36.15. We know we need to keep an eye on Chloe Osborne as well in lane 0. So Chloe was third on the point scoring system this morning. We know our S7 swimmer has a bit of time up her sleeve in relation to the world record, which is of course what we use to classify our swimmers in their point scoring system, 5:19. That's a little bit quicker than this morning, which is great to see as well, under the 5 minute 20 mark.
So we're urging along our final swimmer in the water, Caitlin Kirby from the Newmarket Races, our S18 swimmer, down in lane 9.
Not too far to go here for Caitlin Kirby. So our S18 swimmer, 31-year-old. She's done a great race and she's keeping her technique as sound as possible, closing in on that final touch with 15 metres to go. A great swim from Caitlin and the rest of our girls here. It's a really tough race, the 400 freestyle. It takes not only speed to close that race out, but also a lot of laps in the training pool, lots of miles, week in and week out for these girls.
It's the last 50, which always hurts the most.
Breathing to her left, so let's see if she can breathe on her right and get the crowd's involvement here with the final lap here for Caitlin Kirby. But looking back at some great swims in the middle lanes there from Patterson and Wallington, 4 minutes 36 and 4 minutes 32 respectively. It was a really tight race from the girls. Wallington just pulling away on those final couple of laps, and really looking forward to seeing these point scores come through as well. 5 minutes 19 was a great swim from Chloe Osborne, and our Japanese visitor, 4 minutes 49.77, coming down to touch for Kirby.
Not far to go now. Caitlin giving everything, 10 metres to swim to finish off this 400. And her competitors with a round of applause as well. That's a lovely touch. She touches the wall, 7:07.22.
Great swim from the girls there as we wait for these results to become official. A nice swim there from Caitlin Kirby.
So as we have a look at the results, and on point score, it's Lakeisha Patterson, 872 points. Another high-scoring race. Gee, our multi-class athletes have been sensational on the opening day with some huge point scores. Naka Higagashi, 773. Osborne, 759. And they're the first three swimmers on points.
That's a really high point score there from Lakeisha Patterson. That S9 classification has had a rich history, and I believe Lucky may have done a PB there. It's always hard to tell with some of our older athletes because their seat time isn't always their best time. It's challenging for them to personal best across every season as they get a little bit older, and it's funny to say that about Lucky, just being 27 years of age.
Yes, age is no barrier, Jake. She's continuing to produce at the highest level. Men's 400 freestyle multi-class now. And some of our absolute superstars all in the same pool.
Really excited for this race. We have a bit of a head-to-head going on in the middle. Our S9 boys there. Brennan Hall is one of our stalwarts of Paralympic swimming. Brennan Hall, 32 years of age. He still holds the S9 world record in 4:09.93. But he has Harrison Vig and Timothy Hodge. These boys have been racing against each other for several years now, and it's always a tough race. They're all leg amputees, but it was Callum Simpson who topped the points this morning. So 863 points for Cal, 862 points for Vig, who was the fastest of these S9 athletes.
Yes, Callum Simpson, the gold medalist in the 100 freestyle, S8 in Paris, stepping up to the 400 here. It's a vastly different discipline.
Take your marks.
So a race between our S9 superstars in the middle of the pool. Brendan Hall, lane 3. Harrison Vig, lane 4. Tim Hodge in lane 5. And Daniel Rigby in lane 7. Callum Simpson, an S8 swimmer. And the 18-year-old who has been more accustomed to sprint swimming, but is stepping out from his success in the 100 metres in Paris to take on the 400 here. We're through 50 metres. Tim Hodge leads Harrison Vig, Brendan Hall, and Simpson up there also. I noticed Brendan hasn't had a shave since this morning, so he must be supremely confident in his form.
Yeah, Brendan's a father of 2 kids now, and
didn't have time for a shave, perhaps.
And working as a physio, Tomo, so he's a very busy man, he's Brendan Hall, but we know he's not going to go anywhere. He's been doing this for a very long time. He still holds the world record in 4:09.93 in the S9 classification, and a little bit different this race to our women's event in that there are a lot of S9, the same classification in the middle of the pool. So 1:02.25 there for Hodge, turning slightly ahead of Vig. Brendan Hall, who has a very strong back end in a 103.18 through in that first 100. So let's not forget about Brendan and Callum Simpson. He topped the point score this morning.
So Hodge with a slender advantage over Harrison Vig. Brendan Hall looks pretty comfortable, just trundling along there in lane 3. And then Josh Alford over in lane 2, also up there with the big guns. And now Simpson just starting to make a little move as they turn after 150 metres. It's the race we were hoping for.
Hodge looks pretty relaxed, but all three of these leg amputee S9 swimmers do look quite relaxed. They've raced each other quite a lot before. They've had a lot of different races unfold, and Vig's in the middle there too. So these three S9 boys racing really fast as they come down to the 200-metre split. They're all holding 66s this morning, give or take across their 100-metre splits, and they were out quite strong in 102, 103. So let's see what this 200-metre turn is. It's going to be 208.47 for Hodge, so he's held on to that 106 split. Hall making a little bit of a move there, 109.19 for Vig and 109.79 for Brendan Hall as they attack that third 100. And Callum Simpson having a great race as well, 212.66 at the halfway mark.
So a body length separates our first three swimmers. Tim Hodge has led since the start. Harrison Vig just starting to creep up a little closer. And it's a matter of when Brendan Hall decides to unleash, but at the moment he's leading well here. Tim Hodge looks relaxed and comfortable. Harrison Vig right there with him, and they might have just pulled fractionally further ahead of Brendan Hall here.
It looks like Hodge has pulled away. He's swimming really well. A little bit more of a white water around Hodge now, so he's breathing to his right. He can see those boys. He's actually breathing both sides, so a little bit of bilateral breathing going on here from Hodge. So keeping his eye on the whole pool. He's about to pass to that 300-metre mark, and it looks like Vig's increased his stroke rate. They go through that 300 turn, 3:15.34. There looks to be a little bit of a thing with the touchpad there with Vig, so his time not coming up, but 3 minutes 16.95 from Brendan. But Vig looks to be making a bit of a move, increasing that rate.
We don't need the touchpad to see that Harrison Vig is really starting to put in the big ones now. He's taking the race to Tim Hodge. And it looks like Harrison Vig has pulled level, and Brendan Hall's still there too, Jake.
No one's going anywhere. Brendan does look like he's made a little bit of a move towards those front two boys as we go to 50 metres. It is going to be Vig. Vig's now in front, 3 minutes 48.97, but never discount Brendan Hall, the 32-year-old. He's been there and done it before, but so is Hodge. What a race.
He's really ripping now. Here's Brendan Hall. You can see he's digging in. He's starting to finish really strongly. It's Harrison Vig who's just got the better of Hodge, although he's rallying as well. What an incredible race we've got. In the centre of the pool, they're all S9 swimmers. So this is a shootout for the open title. It's going to be Harrison Vig, though. Too strong in the swim to the wall.
What a swim. What a battle from the three S9s in the middle of the pool. And a strong finish from Vig to take out that victory. But let's not forget about all of our point systems here, and it's going to be Callum Simpson actually there, Tomo. 4 minutes 29.73.
So we've got an issue with that touchpad, as we did after the 300-metre mark, so we can't tell you precisely what Harrison Vig has finished with and therefore his point score, but at the moment we can tell you it's Callum Simpson, 893 points. Brendan Hall, 877. Tim Hodge, 874.
Makes it exciting with Harrison Vig's time not coming up, and in return there, his point score as well, but we know it's going to be really close. 877 from Hall, 874 from Hodge, and 893 there from Callum Simpson. They've all had a great final, but let's wait to see what Vig's point score is. It's going to be really interesting.
We could have four swimmers up in the high 800s, which is just incredible swimming. And our final athlete, Ryan McGrain, with the swimming cap almost sliding off his head. He's putting in so much effort. 10 metres to go for Ryan. And he touches the wall in 5:52.81.
Some great improvements from heats to final there from our athletes. It was a race in the middle of the pool. Callum Simpson, our S8 swimmer, was not to be discounted. He's had a great swim in 4 minutes 29.73. Harrison Vig's time now coming up. 4 minutes 20.69 and 881 points there, Tomo.
So the point score has Callum Simpson out on top.
We weren't excited. It wasn't like we weren't excited as it was, and being made to wait there, it was really exciting to see that Harrison Vig, 881 points, but 893 for Callum Simpson.
So Simpson, Vig, Hall and Hodge all in the 800s. Amazing swimming from all four men. But Callum Simpson is the man who has won on points. Let's go poolside with Matt.
I am down here on deck with Callum Simpson. While all that was going on in the middle, Callum Simpson comes away with the win. 893 points. Great swim.
Yeah, it was a pretty good swim. I'm happy with that. After my 2 AM backing up and producing a race like that, I'm pretty proud of myself.
Now, very often we see the multi-class swimmers, as you say, backing up race after race. Have you got another race tonight? What's coming up in your program?
I'm done for the night, but I've got 100 free tomorrow, so I'll see what I can use.
And does that give you a bit of confidence after tonight's swim? It's obviously a splash and dash, the 100 compared to that.
Yeah, definitely gives me a bit of confidence going into tomorrow, so I'll see what I can use.
Fantastic. We'll rest up, go and do a cool down, and we look forward to seeing you tomorrow.
Thank you.
Well done. His star continues to rise, still only 18 years of age and already a Paralympic gold medalist. Callum Simpson.
Fantastic to see. Obviously coached by a fellow Dolphin, Chris Wright, so he has a great program up there, and Simpson really showing what he can do in that 400. I am excited to see him in that 100. As we move now to the next event on the program, this is your women's 200 meters backstroke. One of my favorite races and one of my favorite people, Kaylee McEwen, out there in lane number 4. Obviously holds that world record, that 2:03.14, and she will be the one that we'll have our eyes on, isn't it, boys?
Absolutely. Jenna Forrester herself, very well accomplished, but honestly, the way Kaylee swum this morning and swum for the last few years, you would think she's almost invincible. There she is, the greatest backstroke swimmer ever. Did you imagine when you presented her with her cap, Emily, that she'd come on to be such a legend that she is?
It's been fantastic to watch her grow as an athlete. I think my highlight was definitely presenting her with her gold medal in Tokyo. Obviously during COVID they couldn't present medals, so I got the honor to do that. We won the gold and the bronze in that 200 in Tokyo, so she's absolutely shone since there as she gets ready to go in this 200 backstroke final.
She's the only Australian Olympian in history to win 4 individual gold medals, and maybe more to come.
Take your marks.
All eyes on the global superstar that is Kaylee McEwen, swimming from lane 4. She's made a swift start, as we've come to expect, and she's straight out setting the pace.
She has that fastest time. She holds that world record, that 2:03.14, so we know she's got a lot in the tank. At 2:09 this morning, as she heads down that first 50, she will take that turn through. And she has great skills, Kaylee. 29.51. Look at that underwater she's able to produce, staying under the water so long. Fredericks also doing a great job of her underwater, really pushing through as far as they can go, which is impressive because in that backstroke, it is hard, Matt, to stay under that water for a really long time.
It is. It's obviously very demanding on the legs, the backstroke. Sitting on your back, you do sit that little bit lower in the water, so you lose a bit of that efficiency. But I've got to say, I'm very impressed there in lane 3 that Alyssa Burgess is as close as she is. In fact, the first 3, Fredericks as well, all under the 1:03 mark, less than a second separating them. And you've got to remember, this is the world record holder. This is not just the girl down the road. Well, kind of is in this matter, but she is the best that we've ever seen. And to be right next to her at that halfway mark is no mean feat.
Unfortunately, they couldn't keep up on this third 50-metre lap because Kaylee has put the foot down and said goodbye to the rest of the field. McEwen 1:34.05 leads by 5 seconds now on Hannah Fredericks and Alyssa Burgess. And Jenna Forrester there in 4th position, but wow, that was just a blistering 50 metres. They were almost stuck together. And Kaylee pulls out by, oh gee, 2-3 body lengths now.
Yeah, really dominant third 50. Had about less than a second at the halfway mark, but really strong now. She's extended her lead and shown just what a class swimmer she is. 2:05.66. That's a strong swim. Hannah Fredericks in for second, 2:08.8. Jenna Forrester gets in for third, a 2:10.74.
That's a frighteningly fast second 100 by Kaylee.
Yeah, she really left them for dead in that third 50, didn't she? It was almost the whole second 100, as you say, Matt. The third 50 was pretty dynamite, but they were still within touching distance. There was only a few seconds in it at the 50 to go, and really brought it home in the last 50. So a great swim there from the champion, that is Kaylee McEwen. One of the best starts in the business, and great underwater work. The three of the swimmers coming down. We see them there at the 50-metre to go on your screen, and down to a dominating finish.
So Kaylee continues to dominate, and she has a shot at making history in LA and also in the 100 backstroke, because at the moment Dawn Fraser is the only Australian to win Olympic gold in the same individual event at 3 consecutive games. Well, Kaylee's going to get a shot at both the 100 and the 200, because as we know so famously, she is the winner of the double-double, and that was quite an amazing swim, particularly the back 100 metres. She is with Emily.
Kaylee, what a swim that was, 2:05.66. How did that feel?
Honestly, I would have liked a little bit faster. I feel like I've put in a good block of training, so I'm a little bit disappointed with the outcome, but I think the process is there.
Absolutely, and you're back on the Sunshine Coast. How are you enjoying that?
I love the sunny coast. It's my home, so my heart's full and I'm enjoying being back in the pool.
That's great, and it looks like we can see that from your racing. Now, one other thing I did want to ask you is, your puppies watching you on TV right now so they don't have separation anxiety?
Nah, probably. They're just lazing around, getting pats probably.
Great to see. We love seeing you out here. We can't wait to watch the rest of your swimming.
Well done, Kaylee. She could have brought the puppies down and they could have been part of our support animal crew for tomorrow.
Well, it would have definitely calmed us in some of those stressful 50-metre events and those races that come down to the wire.
So just to explain that, though, for people watching that aren't aware, so tomorrow the swimmers are going to they're going to be kept company by a series of puppies that are acting as emotional support animals.
Yes,
to try and keep some of those more nervous swimmers
guide dogs
calm.
are bringing down some animals to help with that.
I'm all for that, Em.
I wish that was around when I was back swimming, because I would have been all over that like a rash, because dogs are one of my favourite things, and a great way to stay calm before the racing. I found that I became really nervous, and just a great initiative has been brought out by Lindley Frame. So another idea to help those athletes reach those top times. Exciting to see Kaylee with that 2:05. Obviously, we could see she was a little bit disappointed with that, but the progress is obviously making it to trials and then going faster from there. So great to see her take that win. Obviously, would have liked to have seen her really happy with that. I thought that was a fantastic swim and a beautiful second 100.
It was a great second 100. I completely agree. And if you're going to pick up any time, it's going to be in probably the second 50, somewhere within that first 100 anyway. But hey, that's probably the easy one to increase the pace of. The second 100's the hard one. So she's definitely on song. And as she said, the process is there. B final now.
Take your marks.
Alyssa Lever over in lane 0, Jessie Welsh lane 1, Madison Cooper lane 2, Savannah Martin in lane 3, Amber George in lane 4, Georgina McCarthy in lane 5, Jessica Wilson lane 6, Hannah Costello lane 7, Abby Carney lane 8. and Eve Heinen. In lane 9, that's the field for this B final in the women's 200 backstroke.
Looking strong is our visitor out there in lane number 3. Martin doing a great job of this first 50, 31.58 in front of George there, right next to her in that 32.02. Matt, it must give you a bit of an oomph watching that A final go before you and seeing those times those girls can produce and knowing that you could stamp your way into a great spot by just getting to that wall as fast as you can.
Yeah, well, no semi-finals for these Australian Open, so only the top 10 making it through. So this B final's vital for that experience level, and the girls are making a great opportunity in this race. Making the most of that opportunity is our swimmer there, Jessica Wilson, going through first from Melbourne Vic Centre, 106.44, just in front of McCarthy. Few of the visitors, got 3 visitors in a row, 3, 4 and 5. And Jessie Welsh from New Zealand up in lane 1. So the visitors as well making the most of this Australian Open competition. And the race is definitely on. A bit tighter in this field than we saw in the A final.
Very tight as they come to that third turn now. Turning through in that 1:41.50. McCarthy now taking over the lead from lane 1. Wilson in 6th. That second turn, 1:42.31. As we come down to that final 50, this is whatever you have left in the tank. They got 25 metres left to swim, and doing a great job is McCarthy out in lane number 5.
She's really strong in the back end. So McCarthy with a very good lead. And goes on to win by a couple of body lengths. 2:15.91. Second position to Abby Carney, and third to Jess Wilson.
Yeah, definitely would have helped the mindset seeing the girls set off in that A final. Seeing how it's done, getting out hard, holding on, building that third 50, and then everything you got in the last. And a great job there for the B final. Great underwater shots here at the Gold Coast Aquatic Centre. Hopefully kids out there wanting to improve their backstroke, you can see how much work they do in the underwaters and their skills in and out of the walls. And a nice finish there in the B final. As the results come up, McCarthy, a visitor, taking out the B final, followed by Kearney and Wilson.
Great to have you with us here from the Gold Coast Aquatic Centre, the first evening of finals action in the Australian Open for 2026. Plenty more coming up very soon, including the men's 50 metres for 50 metres butterfly for our multi-class stars. But right after this, we've got Harrison Turner hoping to defend his title in the men's 200 metre butterfly. He's our World Championship bronze medalist from Singapore last year. Back soon. Great to have your company on Nine's Wide World of Sports, the 2026 Australian Open from the Gold Coast Aquatic Centre here in Southport. The most beautiful night. We've got a great crowd. They're all buzzing with excitement, given the calibre of athlete that we've seen in action so far, and we've got plenty more to come, including Harrison Turner, who ended Australia's medal drought at World Champs in this event, the 200 metres butterfly, when he finished with the bronze medal behind Luca Orlando of the United States and Krzysztof Chemelski of Poland, going back a few months. He's also the Australian record holder, a time that he set in that final. It's an event we're trying to build some depth in, Matt. Harrison Turner obviously has burst onto the scene, but we love to try and develop a couple of other 200 butterfly swimmers coming through. Maybe Alex Quash and Kaio Gallo are two of those swimmers who could fill the void.
Yeah, I'm just casting my mind back again about the male 200 butterflies that we've had, and we've had so much success in the female 200 butterfly. I can list off probably half a dozen: Jessica Schipper, Petria Thomas, obviously butterfly herself, Susie O'Neill. We've had so many female 200 butterflies. The male has really eluded us. We had Scott Goodman in the late 90s. But really sort of failed to come all the way through with the men. And with the time of 1:54, Harrison Turner has got the Australian record as probably the best bet.
Take your marks.
Swimmers in the water for the men's 200 butterfly final. A good start there by Alex Quash. And Harrison Turner over in lane 5. Kaio Gallo separating both of those swimmers.
Yeah, believe it or not, the boys are actually going out easy. That is the easiest 25.39 that you're going to see from Harrison Turner. MC Bomb, you did correct me. John O'Seaven, the Olympic gold medalist from 1982 in LA, came over the top, got the world record in front of Michael Gross, one of the greatest swims by an Australian swimmer, especially obviously in the 200 fly. But this is another great one from Harrison Turner.
He's got a commanding lead through 100 metres. Australia has 2 Olympic gold medalists in this event. Kevin Berry, 1964. John Seaman, 1984. But Harrison Turner won our first World Championship medal, a bronze medal in Singapore last year, and he is pouring along in front. This is most impressive by the 22-year-old Harrison Turner from the Nudgee College Club, just up the road in Brisbane. Alex Quash holding down second at the moment. Then there's a race between Alcorn in lane 6 and Gallo in lane 4 for third spot. Gallo turned in third with 50 metres to swim, but Harrison Turner is motoring along in front.
Big underwater there from Alex Quash. Almost went the full 15 in that final wall, and he's coming right up on his hips. But I think Harrison Turner has done enough.
He's got the win secured. And Harrison Turner, too dominant in the early stages of the race. He hangs on to win. Alex Quash gets second, and Kaio Gallo finishing in third position. 1:56.47, slick going.
A great swim for him. You can see last year he won it in a 1:57.28, so bettering that than what he did last year. And Nudgee College there going 1-2, so fantastic to see those boys. They'll really battle it out in that 200 butterfly. We know that is one of the hardest races out there, that 200 butterfly. Hard to pace and hard to hold on at the end. Those boys doing a great job of that. That 1:56.47 for Turner, taking that top spot in front of Quash, his training partner, that 1:58.08. You can imagine training next to both of those boys would be pretty tough.
Yes, there's nothing easy about the 200 butterfly, as we've pointed out already, Em. So, a great win there by Harrison Turner. Great burst of speed in the middle part of the race. Kosh gets second, and Gallo in third spot.
We had 4 boys under that 2-minute barrier mark, so fantastic racing for them. Very close for that second and third position. And fourth, Metcalf, just slightly off the field, but very close for him, that 1:59.35. So great racing there.
All right, let's go to Matt. He's with Harrison.
I am down here on pool deck with Harrison Turner. Fantastic swim, Australian record holder, and now the Australian Open title holder. Nice feeling?
Yeah, it's a great feeling. Yeah, it's pretty tough. 200 fly, it's never easy, but yeah, it's good.
How do you feel after getting that Australian record? Super happy, you know, to get another 200 butterflyer, you know, up there and taking the Australian records one of the first steps, isn't it?
Yeah, look, it was never my plan. Last year was, I guess, I just followed the process and trusted my coach, and I just enjoyed my my journey, and that's where it brought me, and I was, you know, super stoked.
The 200 butterfly is a tough event, as you said. Love to see the camaraderie after the race. You've had everyone on the back, everyone a high five. It's great to see. It almost is a matter of you guys against the event, isn't it? Yeah, definitely. It's I feel like, yeah, it's an event that, you know, it's never easy. It's hard to train for, and I feel like if the boys get around each other, it's just going to make it easier for each other. Well, it may not have been easy, but it looked easy. Anything done well looks easy. You did a fantastic job tonight. Good luck for the rest of the meet. Thanks, mate. Appreciate your time.
Well done, Harrison. Alongside another butterflyer of great distinction in years gone by, our own Matt Welsh. It's good to see us produce someone in this discipline, Emily, but particularly when you look towards relays. It's been a bit of an Achilles heel for men's medley relays, hasn't it, the butterfly? But Harrison Turner's coming through nicely in that regard.
I really liked his positive attitude. Obviously, it's not his best time, but he seemed sort of really happy just to be out there racing those boys, which we don't see often. Sometimes these swimmers are so self-critical, and they really get disappointed, but he just looked really happy, and it actually made me smile, your interview, Matt.
No, you've got to be doing something right to take out the win, and focusing on those positives is what's going to get you to those faster times.
So the B final underway. Elson Lee in lane 1, Tannen Kersedon in lane 2, Kyle Taylor lane 3, James Gauci lane 4, Harvey Lark, James Gauci lane 3, Harvey Lark lane 4, Daniel Borchert in lane 5, William Jordan lane 6, lane 7, Karana Gun Anom from Sydney University, lane 8, Ryan Clifford, and in lane 9 it's Cade Knight, all the way from Wagga Wagga down in southern New South Wales. We mentioned Harrison Turner broke the Australian record in that World Championship swim in the middle of last year. I'm just having a look down the record page here in the all-comers record. So the fastest 200 butterfly swum on Australian soil belongs to Michael Phelps way back in 2007.
Yeah, he's a good swimmer.
He was pretty good.
Yeah, he's a very good swimmer, so I'm not surprised by that at all. Speaking of the Australian Open, swum on centre court at Rod Laver Arena, where the other, not as famous Australian Open takes part. But
they did put a pool on the tennis court.
They did. It helps with the swimming race. But it's quite interesting that they can fit a 50-metre pool on centre court. It was an amazing meet to be part of. But now coming down to the 150-metre mark, and a very dominant swim there from Harvey Lark in lane 4. He touches first, 1:27.42. He's taken a lot of inspiration from the first heat. That's a pretty quick time, 1:27. He's looking to go underneath that 2-minute mark. So he's got a little bit, he potentially missed out on that final, that A final, and he's got a little bit to make up.
And he's swimming boldly out in front here, Harvey Lark, another Queenslander from Griffith University. He's getting some company late in the piece, though. Daniel Borchert really storming home. Harvey Lark is stopping, and Borchert has gone over the top to win.
Wow,
what a finish
that was. Me and Matt holding our breath there for him to get on the wall. That 2:01.92 in front of Lark, that 2:02.24. Wow. Actually, that was incredible.
That was incredible. Harvey Lark turning that 1:27 mark. So, you know, you do the maths and you sort of think he only has to do a 32. Even a 33 might even sneak him underneath the 2-minute mark. He put everything into those first 3 laps, just didn't quite have enough to hold on. And Daniel Bouchard had it with, what do you reckon, 10 centimetres to go? That was very, very tight.
Very close, but he had a great finish, and that's what won him that race. And
you've got to swim. You got to swim every centimetre of a 200. You can't swim 99% of it.
That's right, and he will take that B final. Bouchard there, that 2:01.92. As we have a look at the next event on the program, this is your women's 100-metre freestyle.
And I'm going to say this race is absolutely stacked. An incredible field, headlined, of course, by the great Molly O'Callaghan. But sprint stars right across the pool here, including that lady Shayna Jack, who's relocated to train out of Perth in recent times.
It was a tight heat swim this morning. In fact, the touchpads couldn't even separate Shayna Jack and Olivia Wunsch. So they're going through in lanes 3 and 6. Meg Harris second fastest through, 53.71. Very little separating that top tier. A lot of work's been going into making sure the culture of the women's 100 freestyle is strong. And this is being led by now our elder statesman of the team, Shayna Jack, and Alex Perkins, making sure that the girls stick together, they work together, because it's not just the individual 100 freestyle. This is where the 4x100 freestyle, where we've also had a lot of success internationally, comes from. So it's very important to make sure that everyone is fast.
So the 9 Australian swimmers in this race are all Dolphins. Incredible depth.
Yeah, we need that depth. They're not looking for individual glory. They want to make sure their whole team is fast.
Take your marks.
One of the races of the program is underway. Molly O'Callaghan from lane 4, Meg Harris in lane 5, Olivia Wunsch over in lane 3, Shayna Jack lane 6. It's a blanket start. Incredible scene as these sprint stars thunder through the first 50 metres.
Yeah, Molly O'Callaghan really showing some speed there in that first 50. 25.5 takes them through. Meg Harris right on her shoulder and Shayna Jack in third. So it really is all the middle of the pool.
Alex Perkins swimming well too, out in lane 7. It's Molly leading, Meg Harris there on the left-hand side. And then Perkins and Shayna Jack fighting it out, maybe for third. But it's Molly O'Callaghan, as we've come to expect. She goes roaring away over the last 25 metres to beat Meg Harris and Olivia Wunsch. 4th to Shayna, 5th to Alex Perkins.
Yeah, quite remarkable swim there. 52.66. Anytime you're getting under 53 seconds, that is a strong swim. And just does it in her stride, does Molly O. So as I said before, these girls really trying to make sure they stick together and work together to improve the whole squad rather than just the individual glory. They made a pact that the top 8 from this championship would get together, have a lunch, and actually have a relay. So we'll be looking at some of these girls coming back for the relay later in the meet, and they're going to join forces. I think they're going to make it the odd numbers, so who came 1st, 3rd, 5th and 7th. They're going to take on 2nd, 4th, 6th and 8th in a relay later in the meet. So some great initiatives to make sure that we've got more and more strength in our relays, especially moving forward to this all-important Olympic campaign.
So Molly, 52.66, the only swimmer to break that 53-second barrier. Meg Harris 2nd, Olivia Wunsch finishes in 3rd. Let's go to Molly now, who's with Emily.
Molly, 52.66. How was that for you tonight?
Coming off China, it's a bit of a learning curve, a quick change around, but you know, that's practice for commies into Pan Pac. So at the moment, I'm just trying to learn how to perfect it in season. And I think the girls next to me definitely pushed me to my limits.
We have so much depth in that 100 metres freestyle for the women. What do you put that down to?
I think we all push each other at the end of the day. When I improve, someone else watches that and pushes them. So I think we learn off each other constantly and pushing the boundaries. Once one person improves, it's a knock-on effect.
It's fantastic to watch. Now, what else do you have this meet?
Oh, there's relays, there's some backstroke, some freestyle. So this meet is just about packing it up and trying to back up. So it's nothing about times, it's just trying to survive the fatigue.
We love watching you race. We can't wait to see the rest of the meet. Thank you.
Nice to see you. Thank you.
Great to see you too, Molly. And
it's nice that they can have a catch up on pool deck, isn't it?
Absolutely. Chewing the fat.
Yeah, Em, do you want to go have a coffee with her?
Why wouldn't you? All right.
I'm a big fan of her backstroke, so I can't wait to see her backstroke. I reckon she's very dynamic in an event that people sort of forget that she's very strong in.
And I think she just classes the backstroke as a bit of fun. She doesn't put pressure on the backstroke, which I love.
Take your marks.
Lane 0, Asher Ring. Lane 1, Lily Price. Lane 2, Zoe Pedersen. Lane 3, Milana Tapper. Lane 4, Chloe Rowe Hagens. Lane 5, Jamie DeLutis. Lane 6, Sophie Mays. Lane 7, Jess Cole. 8, Amelia Webber. And 9, Emma Doherty in the B final in the women's 100 free.
Well, what a great way to start off your B final campaign by watching the best of the best take it out in the A final and learn from that. Tapper has done exactly that, taking them out hard, but it's the middle of the pool. Rowe Hagens first through. So right on her shoulder is Tapper and DeLutis. And they're coming down with 15 metres to go, and it's getting tighter and tighter. It's going to be between 3, 4 and 5, but there's going to be nothing in it.
Might be DeLutis finishing strongly. She does. DeLutis first, Tapper. A New Zealand visitor gets second, and Rowe Hagens in third.
Oh, what a great last 25 there from DeLutis. It did look like it was going to be Rowe Hagens. Even Tapper was very close there. But another great race in the women's 100 metres B final. And some quick times there from the girls. So as girls get out of the water, we look forward to the next race on the program, the women's multi-class 50 metres butterfly. Results there for the B final.
DeLutis, Tapper and Rowe Hagens, the first three on the wall. Got some out-and-out multi-class superstars coming away over the next little while. 50 fly for women, and then 50 fly for men, featuring the great Benny Hance, who was just absolutely untouchable this morning. An amazing swim from him. How fast can he go in the final tonight?
So men's and women's multi-class 50 metres butterfly, A final and a B final in each. So 4 splash and dashes for the 50 butterfly to treat us. And then we will have the men's 200 metres breaststroke. That'll be another big one to watch. Bailey Lello fastest through in front of Zach Stubblety-Cook. But it is Kale Thompson who's being announced to the crowd very shortly, who's our fastest qualifier in lane 4. And plenty of classes in this multi-class. We've said it this morning in the heats if you joined us, but these multi-class events are literally that. And races within races. Kale Thompson, S14, along with Montana Atkinson next to her. And Savannah Mania and Vanessa Azols out in lane 0. little bit of a heart to the crowd and her family watching her on.
Feeling the love, no doubt.
Absolutely.
So this is the A final.
We know this is seeded on time, but we're looking at those point scores. So that point score could come from anywhere. So just because they touch the wall first doesn't mean they are the winner.
The one-lap dash for our women's multi-class butterflies. Kale Thompson looked fantastic in the heats this morning. Swimming strongly in the middle of the pool. Emily Beecroft, a Paralympic gold medal winner in the 4x100 metres medley relay in Paris. Also up there on the speed. But it's Kale Thompson swimming right up to her form from the heats. And goes on to blitz them in the end, 30.31, fantastic time. Atkinson gets second, Beecroft gets third. And Kale Thompson, 867 points. That's a big win.
That is a big swim. So not only first to the wall, but got the highest point score. Getting to the upper levels of the 800 points. We did see a couple of 9s this morning, but 800 is a great haul, especially in a 50 race, which is well contested. So results now on your screen with point scores to boot. As the swimmers jump out and head back to the cool down.
So that is what you call a clean sweep. A race victory and a points victory. 867 points. A great win for Kale Thompson. Montana Atkinson with second. And Riley Sayer has finished in third on points. Let's go to Emily.
How was that swim for you tonight?
A little bit slower than this morning, but it was all right.
Oh, I think it was fantastic. What other events are you swimming at this meet?
I've got 100 fly tomorrow and 200 IM after that.
And which one of those is your favourite event to swim?
100 fly.
Nice. So we'll be looking forward to watching you in that one. Now, what have you been looking forward to in training? Like, what are you working on? What are you trying to improve at this meet?
My 100 fly, I'm trying to make Pam Pax times. So I hope to get that tomorrow.
Well, we'll be cheering for you. We can't wait to see you watch. Thank you for a great swim.
Absolutely, we will. Kale Thompson, she's obviously a hard marker. That was exceptional to watch.
Well, we see time and time again our elite athletes judging themselves. They're the harshest judges, aren't they? They know exactly what they need to do, how to execute it, and they need to be harsh judges to take those big steps. As we see the B final for the multi-class 50 metres butterfly walking out onto pool deck. Feel the swimmers just splashing them down. Were you a splasher? Well, you jumped in the water for the backstroke, weren't you? But were you a splasher in the IMs?
I was a splasher in backstroke as well, and I always did 3. So 3 for me was like my number, so I always had to do 3, and I thought if I didn't do 3, that was the time that I wasn't going to swim good. So I was very superstitious.
So you psyched yourself out before you even started.
I absolutely did.
That sounds very complicated.
I just like to feel the water before you go in, so it's not a big shock.
Yeah,
and sticking the suit down.
Take your marks.
Our B final underway in the 50 butterfly. The multi-class swimmers. Kate Wallington, after her brilliant swim earlier, back in the water. Not much time to recover from her.
Doing a great job of this 50 metres butterfly. Look at that distance she has on the field. Looking nice and strong in that yellow cap as she comes down to the wall now. She will touch that wall first in that 28.28. We'll wait to see those point scores come through. She's sitting at that 5.53 so far.
That's a quick time for Aisha Apthorne from Port Macquarie in the state of New South Wales.
Those point scores coming through now. She's sitting in that top marker, 553 for that B final. She will take that one out with a dominating lead in that 50 meters butterfly. Fantastic to watch that. The girls are clearing the pool right now. Those results are official on your screen. You can see those point scores. Wellington in that second touch, that 427.
So that's the B final. Apthorpe, Wellington and Hupats, the first three on points. Plenty more still to come here on the first night of finals action from the Gold Coast Aquatic Centre. We've got box office Benny Hance coming up right after this in the men's 50 metres multi-class butterfly. It is just a stunning night here on the Gold Coast. That is the Gold Coast Aquatic Centre competition pool shining under the spotlights. And there's some of our enthusiastic fans giving us a wave in the stands. The opening night of finals here at the Australian Open 2026. So Benny Hance looked like he was about to swim through the wall this morning in this race. He was absolutely dynamic.
24.17, which I got to say would probably make the final or close to it in the full able-bodied 50 butterfly. So we may see him step up there, swimming out of St Andrews. So we're swimming exactly alongside Isaac Cooper, who we saw earlier in the night in the 50 backstroke.
Amazing that he's a two-time Paralympic gold medalist in the 100 backstroke and equally adept at the 50 metres fly.
Well, that underwater butterfly kick obviously coming into both, and backstroke butterfly do sometimes work hand in hand. Bit more rare to see breaststroke and backstroke.
You swam a lot of butterfly yourself, Matt.
I did do a little bit of butterfly.
Quite a bit of butterfly.
I took out, one of the World Championships in a world record, and which was a little bit of a surprise, being from a backstroker, but you can do dynamic things in these 50 races, so these guys will be looking forward to that. But I'm definitely looking forward to, as you said, Matty, Benjamin Hance really just killed this morning. 24.17. Can he break the 24-second mark? It's either that, or as you say, he's going to break the wall when he hits it.
Yes, we've got so much quality in this race. Rowan Carruthers, Ricky Beta, Cole Pearce, Alex Sappy, all Paralympic stars. But on form, it's box office Benny Hance, the one to beat. How fast will he go? Hance swimming out of lane 4. He's made a blistering start once again. In sensational form, Benny Hance. Have a look at him pulling away.
No, he's not over swimming it. He paced himself really nicely in that first 15. No breath yet, keeping that head down.
This is super fast from Benny Hance, 24.21, 906 points. He's blown them away.
Marginally off his time this morning, but pretty much copy-paste from this morning. No breath, Really nice controlled in that underwater. Didn't overswim it. And comes away with a big points haul.
We do know that that world record is 1,000 points, so to be a 906 is a fantastic result for Hanser as he takes home that win. And what a win that was, 24-1. Absolutely dominated that field, and just in a 52. We don't see that often, no. A 50 so far in front.
Yeah, in the 50 butterfly, got a lot of depth in the 50 butterfly. A lot of people like to swim it. It's a good, fun event. Relatively simple. I know people will find that hard to believe. They go, butterfly's the hardest event, surely, but it's a relatively simple stroke once you get it. Breaststroke's the tricky one. That's far more technical, but well competed. And we see the boys getting ready for the B final of the 50 metres butterfly. And after seeing that dominant swim, I wonder if any of them will change their race plan and go, you know what, I'm just going to blitz the first 15 and hold on for dear life.
We'll try to anyway.
That's always the aim, isn't it?
Take your marks.
So this is our B final. And a good start by Alford in lane 5 and also Hodkinson in lane 4. They're the two fighting it out at the moment. Not much separating the swimmers in the middle lanes. And Swinburne starting to come into it. Alford's still there. Alford there on the wall gets the touch. 28.35. Hodkinson finishes second. Stewart in third and Swinburne in fourth spot.
The butterfly finish is a tricky one, Em, isn't it? You see them coming down, you know whose head's in front, but it's whose hands get to that wall first. And Alford was in front and deserved winner of that B final. Only just in front of Hodkinson, though.
Look at those point scores too, 564, 552, 538, 526, 525. So that was very tight on that finish.
Yeah, separated by point scores, leading them into the A final and B final, and ranked off time. So a lot of those point scores right in the mix in the A final. So very good swims there from our B final swimmers. As we now cast our eye to the next event in the program, the men's 200 metres breaststroke, as they get ready to walk out on the pool deck.
So we know our Olympic champion Zach Stubblety Cook has been the flag bearer for Australia in this event for the last decade. But maybe we've got some swimmers on the up. I know you're looking forward to seeing Bailey Lello back up in his heat swim this morning, Matt.
Yeah, and Will Petrick, the three in the middle of the pool in 4, 5 and 6. Finlay Schuster also in 3, had a great swim this morning. I mean, you've got to say the smart money is on Zach Stubblety Cook. He is an Olympic champion in the race. He's got the Commonwealth record. He's got form on his side, but it was such a good swim from Bailey this morning. How much more has he got in him? Can he actually take it to Zach Stubblety Cook? It's going to be a tricky one, and William Petrick, probably not his pet event, the 200 breaststroke, more IM, but showing his diversity and showing his strength in that breaststroke leg. He's going to be in the mix as well. So top 4, almost anyone's game.
Yes, Will Petrick, the Paris Olympian in the individual medley. Had a great campaign at the China Open recently. Part of a strong contingent of Australians who went over to China and performed very well.
Take your marks.
And Bailey Lello, the fastest qualifier for the final by 2 seconds this morning. He's swimming out of lane 4. Finlay Schuster pushed Zach Stubblety Cook all the way in their respective heat this morning. Schuster lane 3, Stubblety Cook in lane 5, Petrick in lane 6, and Josh Collett Also a Dolphin representative in lane 7, even David Schlick, the veteran, all the way out in lane 9. So a very competitive 200 breaststroke final for men, and it's Collett who's gone through in under 30 seconds for the first 50.
Yeah, interesting position that Bailey Lello finds himself in, right next to the Olympic champion and a faster qualifier through, but Joshua Collett actually making the most of that first 50. It's a long race, and we know that the back end of Stubblety Cook is his best part, so we'll have to keep an eye on how this race fleshes out, but it is looking very strong in the middle of the pool now. Bailey coming in, and looks like he'll touch first.
So Lello leading, Collett second, and Stubblety Cook just pushes his way up ever so slightly in third position at the halfway mark, but we know his second 100 metres can be devastatingly fast, but at the moment it's Bailey Lello who's swimming a very bold race out in front, maintaining his form from a very fast heat swim this morning.
Yeah, we're hoping for a battle, and it looks like Bailey Lello's got you know, what he needs to do. He's doing what he needs to do to take this out, but it's still anyone's game. Trust me, with 50 metres to go, this is still anyone's to win. So Stubblety Cook now into his favoured leg. Can he come over the top? It's going to have to be an incredible last 50, but if anyone can do it, he can.
And keep an eye on Patrick there as well, making up a little bit of territory. So Bailey Lello continues to lead with 20 metres to swim. Lello in front, Stubblety Cook starting to come through. It's going to be close. Zach's making up some good ground here. Lello leading, Stubblety Cook trying to get there on the wall. Bailey, 2:09.79. A big win for Bailey Lello. He's beaten the Olympic champion, and Will Petrick has finished in third position.
Wow, what a swim for Lello out there. 2:09.79 to take that win there in front of Stubblety Cook, that 2:10.03. Fantastic swim for those boys. Petrick in that third touch, 2:11.27. It was quite the battle between those boys. Lello was able to hold on. I think if there was another 5 metres, I think Stubblety Cook would have had that win, but Lello absolutely dominating and under that 2:10 barrier, so he's got to be pretty happy with that. Came through in that second 100 and really made his move on that third 50, but to the finish it was so close, Matt, wasn't it?
Well, didn't think it was going to be that close with 50 metres to go. Bailey was well in control, but we know just how fast Zach can be in the closing stages. He tried to get there on the wall, but Bailey had enough to see him off. I reckon one of the biggest results of his career, surely, for Bailey Lello. Not every day you beat an Olympic champion.
He's got to be pretty happy with that. That was a very fast time. I wonder if he's still the lifeguard out at Chandler.
Well, I'd be happy for him to fish me out of the pool. He wouldn't waste any time, that's for sure. And Bailey's with Matt Welsh.
I'm coming up here.
I am down here with Bailey. What a swim. I'm actually speechless. I'm just going to let you do this.
I mean, I'm stoked. I didn't come here with much expectation, but over the last few weeks, Dean and I have been working on some new things, and it seems it's working out.
How did you feel coming out of the heats this morning? It was a really strong heat swim, 2 seconds ahead of the rest of the field. Were you confident? Were you sort of thinking, this actually could happen?
I mean, I went in with the goal of trying to have a good heat, and I didn't really think much past that. So hitting that this morning, I didn't have any pressure on myself tonight, so I could just swim nice and free.
I think one of the secrets is you didn't have a lifeguard shift before and after you swim like last year. But, you know, I think this will come, you know, you'll think about this coming down. I just beat an Olympic champion. Now, take nothing away from Zach Stubblety Cook, still an absolute champion, but you held him for the entire race.
Yeah, I've been training with Zach at least 2023 to 2024. So I've spent a lot of time swimming next to him, a lot of time behind him. So it's nice to get one in front of him.
Well, you did exactly that. Amazing swim. That's the swim of the night for me.
Thank you so much.
Yes, it was such a great swim that Matt Welsh was on his feet, urging Bailey on in the closing stages. That was a great interview, great reaction too. You can see he's just completely chuffed, and so he should be.
And such an infectious smile he has, really contagious through the screen. So Fantastic result for him. I love to hear his process. He really doesn't put too much on his shoulders. He really just takes it as it is, and I love to see it because he is definitely one to watch out for in that 200 breaststroke.
Oh, so dynamic in the first 100. And you think, okay, that's fine, that's the first 100, but can you do it for the second? Well, yeah, he can. That was, yeah, remarkable.
Last time Zach Stubbley-Cook finished second, it was Sir Leon Marchand.
Yeah, most people do that. To Leon. It's a pretty common theme.
Take your marks.
So our B final in the men's 200 metres breaststroke. Chin Hai Lai from the Hong Kong club in lane 1. Adam Selwood from Propulsion in... Chin's got lane 0, my apologies. Adam Selwood lane 1. Fiacre Murphy Bartlett lane 2. Lane 3 Felix Dressel de Bruin. Lane 4 Jackson Abaya. Lane 5 Samuel Higgs. Lane 6 Lachlan Gilbert. Lane 7 Hara Hughes from the New Zealand club. Lane 8 Brandon Wilson and Alistair Gajowski in lane 9.
I mean, watching Lelo there with that 2:09.79, these boys want to stamp that mark on that earlier final. This is your B final, so a second chance to come back and improve on those heats this morning. They're looking to produce some good times as they're coming down to that first 100-meter turn. Looking nice and in control is your athlete out there in the lead, taking them through in that 1:05.37. Doing a great job. Higgs there in that second turn position, that 1:06.52. Gilbert with that third there. As they head into the most important part, I would say, Matt Welsh, of this 200 breaststroke, that second 100 is very important.
Yeah, very much. I remember talking to a 200 breaststroker a while ago and how they go about going after it. And they say the first 50, swim it like a 200. Second 50, swim it like a 150. And then swim it like a 100 and then a 50. It just gets faster and faster and builds as you're going. And it really is just a matter of trying to hold that stroke together. And it's exactly what we're doing here in the B final, going stroke for stroke, coming down to the wall. And we saw it almost is anyone's race, and a big final push there. Lachlan Gilbert in lane 6 is looking strong. Can he come over the top? Higgs right next to him. It's going to be between the two.
And Gilbert and Higgs locked together. Higgs has got a little kick as the wall approaches. Nothing between them. Gilbert has touched out Sam Higgs, and Jackson Abaya finishing third.
Yeah, that was one of those races, wasn't it, Em, that Gilbert was on the right part of his stroke. He was the one driving forward, and Higgs just didn't quite wasn't in the momentum part of the stroke, wasn't in that drive forward, and Higgs got his hands to the wall first, even though the heads were pretty even.
Yeah, we see that a lot in the breaststroke and the butterfly. It's finishing on that full stroke, and you've got to know that. Whereabouts do you reckon, Matt? At the flags, at that tee, where are you timing that finish?
Well, like a lot of the time, they take the flags out for any non-backstroke races, so it's tricky to see, but you know you're inside the red lane ropes, and they'll definitely be making those adjustments probably 3 strokes out. So what's that, about 6 or so meters out? They'll be starting to make adjustments more and more as they get closer and closer to that wall, but really well paced there for the B final.
Plenty more coming up on the first night of finals here at the Australian Open 2026. After this, the women's 400 individual medley, and then King Kyle will be in the pool in the men's 100-metre freestyle final. Women's 400 metres individual medley next on a packed opening day schedule here in Southport. Hello there. One thing about swimming crowds, Matt, they're very enthusiastic. And particularly young, aren't they? They love getting here and soaking up all the action of their heroes.
Yeah, they really do. I can tell you back in our warm-up pool, it'll be absolutely packed, and a lot of the kids will be like, oh my goodness, I'm swimming in the same lane as Zach Stubblety-Cook or Kayla McEwen. It doesn't matter if you're Olympic champion or not, same warm-up pool, same everything. And it's a great chance to bump shoulders. Hopefully that's all with...
Maybe try to avoid that.
Yeah, we don't want to injure them. Yeah, to bump shoulders with the best. And speaking of the women's 400 individual medley, we get to see a little bit of all of it here. A little bit of butterfly, a little bit of back, breast and free to finish it off. And we've already seen a few of these swimmers in Forrester Kinser-Ramsey in the 200 breaststroke earlier tonight, and they're back at it again in the 400 individual medley. Great race to watch, and after I hit some this morning, it really has set up a great final tonight.
Take your marks.
Underway for the women's 400 IM final. Jenna Forrester with that silver medal in the World Champs in Singapore last year. Just the second medal ever by an Australian swimmer in this event, following on from Hayley Lewis, who won silver in the IM back in 1991, a long, long time ago.
Well, we saw Ella Ramsey take the butterfly out fast this morning, and then Jenna Forrester come back strong in the backstroke. Tara Kinder really made the most of the breaststroke. Will we see the same again tonight? I have to say I'm very impressed with Forrester and Kinder keeping up with Ella Ramsey. I think it's going to be a little bit tighter tonight in this final. They're really playing for keeps. They're going for that Australian Open title. And Forrester probably in the box seat at this stage, coming down to one of her favoured legs in the backstroke.
So Forrester joined by Kinder and Ramsey, then Harrison and Kayla Hardy there also. Into the backstroke leg. Another tightly congested race, and the three heavyweight chances all out in front of the field. About a body length and a half separating them. It's Forrester leading, Ramsey pulling up into second position, and Tara Kinder there in third.
Yeah, Tara Kinder won't want to let these girls get too much of a lead on her in this backstroke. Not her strongest stroke. The freestyle and more so the breaststroke is going to be her cup of tea, but she's got to hold on in this backstroke leg. But Forrester really making the most. Look at that, a full 12 or so metres underwater for Forrester off the wall, and that is how she's managed to get that much of a lead in just 75 metres of backstroke.
She dead heated for second at the World Champs with Japan's Mio Narita, the gold medal winner, no less than the great Summer McIntosh, who holds the 8 of the 9 fastest times in history in this event. Still only very young, Summer McIntosh. Amazing to consider what she might be able to do going forward. But at the moment, it's Jenna Forrester who maintains this lead. Ella Ramsey in second spot. Lexi Harrison's pulled up into third, and Tara Kinder in fourth.
So the Australian record holder in this event, we saw her earlier this night, the 200 backstroke, Kayla McEwen with a 4:28. Incredible swim there from Kaylee, but is Jenna Forrester at this stage. Tara Kinder doing everything she can to bring herself back into this race, but it does look like it's going to be a race between Forrester and Ramsey. Forrester with a fantastic 100 backstroke. It's often the breaststroke that separates the field, isn't it, Em, in these individual races, individual medley races, but it was the backstroke that really separated them then.
It was. I couldn't believe the underwater on Forrester really extended that lead, just pushing out close to that 15 metres. So something she's got to be practicing a lot in training. Obviously, we saw her earlier in that 200 backstroke. She finished third with a 2:10. So she's had a very tough night of racing. That 200 backstroke, that 400 IM now, those legs have to be burning, but she's not slowing up at all as she heads into that final leg, that freestyle leg. This is where it will be a race to the finish. And look at that battle for second and third.
Tara's really made up considerable ground there. She was actually back in 4th position.
Yeah, we knew that breaststroke was going to be strong for her, and that back end of the race, she made up a lot of distance, and she's continued that through in the freestyle. I think she's going to be tough to beat for second. Ella Ramsey looking good for third, but it is all Jenna Forrester. That backstroke leg really separated her from the field, and with 50 to go, it's going to be tough to get in front.
Well, Tara's gone from, I reckon, 4 body lengths at least away from Jenna Forrester, up into second position and snapping right at the heels now. A bit more than a body length behind. Jenna leading, but maybe getting a little tired.
Yeah, she's had to lift her kick. She just looked across there, saw Tara and thought, oh, I really want to get this win. And with 15 metres to go, she's really had to push it.
But it's Australia's World Championship silver medalist who goes through to win. A stirring swim by Tara Kinder to get second. And Ella Ramsey finishing in third.
Time of 4:35.40. That's a very strong swim here at the Australian Open. Tara will be happy to get that 4:37 second place. And wow, she brought it home in that last half of the race. We knew the breaststroke and freestyle were going to be her strengths, but she really showed just how strong she is. Really put some pressure on Jenna Forrester, who looked to be out of contention of having any pressure put on her at all. So far was her lead. As we wait for our final swimmer to come down to the wall, and she does. Irvine in time of 5:23.92, but big smiles there from Jenna Forrester from St Peters Western, taking out the Australian Open title in the women's 400 individual medley.
Yes, they're 3 women who have enjoyed a very spirited rivalry for a little while in this event now. And Jenna coming out on top. Tara motoring home into second, and Ella in third spot. One of the most grueling events imaginable, the 400 individual medley. The ultimate test of the all-round swimmer, and Jenna Forrester prevailing by a couple of seconds in the end, although, as you said, Matt, she had to get going again in that her final 50 with Tara racing home, but Jenna got the job done. She's with Emily.
And I'm here with Jenna Forrester. You have had a massive night of racing, the 200 backstroke into that 400 IM. How do you prepare for that?
A lot of training. Yeah, I mean, it's always tough doing your double, especially with the 400 IM. So I don't know how tonight was going to go, but I'm so happy with both my swims.
One thing that we noticed and we loved about you was your underwaters were phenomenal. They were incredible to watch. What do you put that down to? You obviously do a lot of training on your underwaters.
Yeah, I feel like that's always been a focus for me, is really trying to hit the distance and the speed, and I think I can kind of thank my coach for that. He's really drilled it into me for a number of years now.
You race some of the toughest events on the program, but what's your favourite event to race?
I think that's a hard question. I do love medley. I think I'm better at the 4, but the 2 is always a bit of a fun race. It feels like a sprint.
Well, we can't wait to watch the rest of your swimming. That was a fantastic result tonight in both the 200 backstroke and the 400 IM.
Thank you so much. I'll see you later for the relay.
Yes, the girls backing up race after race. And we hope that you back up and join us just after this break. Hope you're enjoying all the action here from the Gold Coast Aquatic Centre. You are watching 9 Now, our live coverage on 9's Wide World of Sports. And welcome back to night one action here at the Australian Open Championships at the Gold Coast Aquatic Centre. Crowd looking forward to more swimming action. And it's exactly what we've got for you as the men walk out onto deck for the 100 metres freestyle. Fastest qualifier, Kyle Chalmers, in the middle of the pool. Some a 48.58 this morning. He'll be the one to beat. But I tell you, Jamie Jack, Flynn Southam, Edward Somerville will be doing everything they can to get over the top of him.
Not often do we get both the women's 100 free and the men's 100 free on the same night. We're so lucky to see our top sprinters out there. Obviously, King Kyle, he is the name to watch, but Jamie Jack went out really hard this morning, so I'm excited to see what he can produce tonight.
You can't see him on your screen, but Kyle Chalmers very eager to get going. He's the first one out, standing next to his block, almost saying, hurry up, boys. You can see him there in the corner of your screen.
Well, he's got a little girl to go home to, so
Is that why?
he probably wants the race over so he can
We'll
go.
just break a world record, make it even quicker and get home then.
We'd love to see that.
We would.
We'd love to see Jamie Jack graduate to a Dolphins team and join his sister Shayna as a representative at that level. He's been thereabouts for some time. Kai Taylor also lining up in lane 2 here. Marcus De Silva and Carter Swift from New Zealand in the outside lanes, but he's the focus of attention as always, the mighty Kyle Chalmers.
Take your marks.
It's a slashing field for the 100 freestyle final, as you would expect. Kyle out with a good start. Flynn Southam next to him in lane 5. Ed Somerville, member of the Australian team for the World Champs in Singapore, over in lane 6 as well. It's Jamie Jack who leads through, marginally ahead of Kyle Chalmers, then Flynn. But that's a good turn by Chalmers, and he's starting to pick his way through the field with about 25 metres to swim.
He's looking very strong out there. You can see those tattoos flying through the pool as he comes down to that finish now. He's almost at the flags, and he will touch the wall first. It will be Chalmers that takes home that win, 48.39. What a swim that was, Matt.
Yes, Flynn Southam second. Kai Taylor did well to make up some ground over in lane 2. He's got third, but it is Chalmers, the man himself, the man of the moment, the man who's hoping to go through and win a 4th Olympic medal in this event.
He looks pretty happy with that one too, so fantastic to see a 48.39. Southam with that second touch, that 48.80, and Kai Taylor there with that third touch, that 48.94. As we can see that replay, you can see Kyle really brings home that race nice and strong as he touched the wall first and shakes off the first race of this meet, and looking very strong in the water. And that whole field very strong under that 50-second mark. 3 of those boys under 49. Some really great results for that sprint freestyle for our men's team.
So the King reigns supreme once again. Just incredible acceleration in that back end. And he cut through the field and won pretty well in the end. Kyle is with Matt.
He is down here. I'm here with Kyle after a very strong swim. Got to be happy?
Yeah, I'm happy with that. Yeah, it's good.
Now, I've got to say, I'm impressed with your swim, but I'm impressed with how strong the whole field is. That's got to, you know, make you feel good as well, especially with the relays.
Yeah, exactly. We've got some great depth coming through, and I've had a lot of individual success, but I really want to have a lot of success in the relays, and I've been bronze, silver, silver. Oh, sorry, bronze, bronze, silver at the Olympic Games. It would be amazing to get a gold medal with these guys. So I'm spending a lot of time with them, and I think we've got a really great group of people coming through, and
great camaraderie, so I'm excited for the next couple of years.
It's great to see you getting out, you know, lots of high fives, fist bumps with the guys as you get out. You know, you're a champion swimmer, but they were not far behind you. They did not, you didn't leave them for dead.
I still had them, mate.
You still had them, definitely. Now, speaking of having them, you've just had little baby Astrid. What's it like now in fatherhood?
Yeah, it's the best thing ever. I think it's given me a lot more perspective in life. Swimming's obviously still very important, but it's no longer number one. Being the best husband I can possibly be and being the best father I can possibly be as well is far more important to me now. So, yeah, I'm loving having both of them up here and enjoy the experience. And Wednesday, my wife gets to make her come back to swimming. So, looking forward to being in the stands with my daughter watching her swim.
Well, it's always a pleasure to watch it, and it was a pleasure again tonight. Awesome work.
Thanks, mate. Appreciate it.
Well done, Kyle. It'll be great to see Ingy back in the pool too. Something you know a bit about, returning to swimming after becoming a mum.
Do you know what I'm excited for? To see Astrid in the crowd. That is going to be something that I will be looking out for. As we have a look now, this is your B final of the men's 100-metre freestyle. It was a great interview with Kyle. Seemed pretty happy, pretty positive with that.
Well, I know how important it is for him with the camaraderie, and speaking of which, one of his best mates, Matt Temple, here in lane 5, missed out on the A final. Now is his chance to make some noise in the B final.
So Charlie Hawke and Matt Temple lining up in a B final just goes to show the depth of talent that Australia has at its disposal in this 100 freestyle. Hawke from lane 4, and Kyle's great mate Matt Temple swimming in lane 5.
And nothing between the field coming through. Looking good in 6, Liam Foley. Just trying to make a bit of a break from the field. He does touch first in 23.8, so pretty swiftly out, and really nice turn and underwater. But Matt Temple really showing his skill underwater, and I think it'll be between Hawke and Temple coming down to the wall.
They're locked together. Charlie Hawke and Matt Temple, and Foley still trying to stick on with them. Hawke making a late bid, trying to get towards Temple, and Temple touches the wall 0.03 of a second ahead of Charlie Hawke.
Well, it looked more than 3/100ths, I got to say. That was a good finish from Charlie Hawke. But Matt Temple showing class with a sub-50 swim in the B final. So 49.66 takes out our first place. Better known for his butterfly, but really showing some class in the 100 metres freestyle was Matt Temple.
In a time that would have been pretty competitive too in that A final, so fantastic to see him really try to stamp a position on those boys in that A final. So a 49.66 for Temple to take out that B final as they clear the pool right now. And we look to the next event on the program. That is your women's multi-class 200-metre freestyle. Coming in right now, we have Jake Templeton joining us in the commentary booth to talk us through those multi-class races. As we have a look at this field right now, we see some S14 athletes, some S9, S6, S18. So we know it's all about that point score. It's not so much a matter of that time, Jake. So who do you think is on for a really good swim tonight and that really high point score?
Absolutely. I'm really looking forward to seeing Maddie McTurnan swim tonight out of lane 4, our S14 swimmer, 796 points this morning. She was out on her own in 2:11.72, a strong first 100 split of 103. So she was, in fact, unofficially under that S14 Australian Open record this morning by 0.08 of a second. So I'm keen to see how she goes tonight.
As you can see those girls on the screen getting called out right now. Davis there in 1, Curry in lane number 0. We've seen her so much throughout that age championships. So for her to stick around and swim a big program with those opens, that's fantastic to see, isn't it, Jake?
100%, as they are about to get called onto the blocks. keep an eye out for some of our age stars continuing on this week as well.
So all eyes on the defending champ, Maddie McTurnan, the two-time Paralympic silver medalist. She's swimming out of lane 4. Looked really strong this morning.
Really strong heat swim this morning from Maddie McTurnan. She was out in 1:03 and unofficially under that Australian record for our open S14 swimmers. So as she settles into her stroke, we looked for the girls to come down to that first 50. And it's going to be Maddie McTurnan, 30.49, and a lot of our S14 swimmers in the pool tonight. This is an event on offer at the 2026 Commonwealth Games, as well as the Parapampaks, taking place over in the US later in the year. And Maddie McTurnan is pulling away. She's looking really strong on this second 50 of the 4-lap race, so she's going to be out on her own here. And 1:03 was her first 100 split this morning, so no Ruby Storm. Paralympian S14 swimmer in this race tonight. She wasn't in the heats this morning, but it's going to be Maddie McTurnan in 1:03.33, just like she was this morning.
And she's quite a dominant leader at this stage of the race. Stephanie Bruzesi in lane 5 in second spot. And then Jade Lucy, another S14 swimmer, swimming in lane 3, was in third position. But this is all about Maddie McTurnan. She has blasted away from the rest of the field.
She's held a stroke here, Maddie. She was really strong on that first 100, 1:03.3. So as we look to that 1:36, she's going to be close to that 2 minutes 10 barrier, which would be an exceptional swim for Maddie tonight. So let's bring her home with those legs, a little bit of whitewash. Doesn't look like she's slowing down, and Maddie has 25 metres to go. There were 796 points from Madeline McTurnan this morning, 701 from Brezesi and Jade Lucy. So the middle lanes topped the points this morning as well.
She's in a race all of her own. Maddie McTurnan with 10 metres to go. She's tearing towards the wall. And a great time, 2 minutes 10:63.
That's a great swim there from Maddie McTurnan. 2 minutes 10.63, even faster than her swim this morning. She was controlled from start to finish, and big smiles in the middle lane there for Maddie. Even faster than her, 2:11.72 this morning, so she'll be very happy with that swim.
She'll be even happier with the 816 points.
Keep an eye on Aaliyah Curry. She's been busy all week from our age national championships, of course now competing at our open Australian Open championships here as well. So she's been a very busy girl over the last few days, and Aaliyah Curry looking really strong as she's about to pass into those final 5 metres. But at this stage, it's McTurnan, 816 points with her 210.63. 3:03 there from Curry.
And Elodie Sabir from the Hills Swimming Club, the 15-year-old in lane 9, coming in to finish off her race.
That was a dominant swim there from Maddie McTurnan, and 454 points there from Elodie Sabir. But it's going to be Maddie McTurnan. We wait for these results to become official. But what a swim. She did it out there on her own, Maddie McTurnan. 816 points, 2 minutes and 10.63. And Brezesi with 715 points. A fellow S14, and the S14's really dominated there. Jade Lucy, 672 points. We know that this is an event on offer at the major international competitions for our S14 athletes, so they really dominated not only the times, but the points there. So a fantastic swim from Maddie McTurnan.
Yes, some of our multi-class stars rattling up some huge point scores, both this morning in our heat session and again this evening in the finals, and Maddie swimming superbly. Let's head poolside, and Emily's with her.
I'm joined with Maddie. What a swim that was. 816 points. Phenomenal point score. What do you put it down to?
Well, I've been doing a lot of 200 training with my coach at Griffith Uni, so it's been finally starting to, what we've been learning in training is finally starting to show in the racing.
You had a brilliant heat swim and an even better final swim. And let us know what record you just broke.
So I just broke the S414 Australian record.
A round of applause, an Australian record in that swim. It was fantastic to watch. What events do you have coming up?
So I've got the 100 free tomorrow, and then on day 3, it's a bit busy, but I've got 50 back, 100 back, and 50 free.
Amazing. We can't wait to watch your other races. Congratulations on that record, and what a phenomenal swim that was.
Thank you.
Well done, Maddie. You can see how proud she is, so she should be part of the silver medal winning team in the mixed 4x100 metres freestyle relay in both Tokyo and Paris Paralympics.
She was very happy, Maddie, and it was in fact 2:11.72 this morning. I mentioned 2:11.92, so even faster tonight with that 2:10. A really strong swim there from Madeline McTurnan, and in our B final, a lot of S19 athletes, so a really hot contest this morning to see who can make this A final, and a lot of youngsters stepping up, qualifying through to the B final tonight. Keep an eye out on Ava Dennis. She won silver over the last few days in the 16 to 18 years category in the age 200 metre freestyle.
Yes, a lot of our young swimmers have had a very busy few days, and it's good to see them backing up in the open events. When you're young, you have boundless energy. You see, you can swim day after day. Jake?
Absolutely. Tired watching these girls, and they continue to back up. So see how these athletes perform in the B final.
Lane 0, Sarah Bergen. Lane 1, Tyra Jensen. Lane 2, Vanessa Ozols. Lane 3, Danica Biddle. Lane 4, Ava Dennis. Lane 5, Amelia Steiner. Lane 6, Evie Lee. In 7, Sabrina Sim. In 8, Summer Klein. And in lane 9, Caitlin Kirby.
What a start there from lane 4, Ava Dennis. Just like a lot of our girls have had busy programs across the last 3 days at the National Age Championships for our multi-class swimmers, and she's taken it out really fast here as Ava Dennis. And a lot of S19s, a lot of S14s in this race tonight, so it's a really easy thing for us to do tonight and compare like for like with our S19 swimmers. And it's Ava Dennis. She's had a great meet over the last few days. Silver in the 16 to 18 years 200 metre freestyle at the Age Championships. The 16-year-old from Warragul. She was 2 minutes 20 this morning, so fingers crossed tonight she can beat that 2 minute 20 time from this morning. So she's about to pass through this 100 metre mark. A great strong start, 1:06.50 for Ava. It's a bit of a battle here as well from the ladies that flank her in lanes 3 and 5. Biddle and Steiner both 1:10 and 1:11 as we move down that third lap.
And so Ava, 16 years of age, swims for the Warragul Club from Victoria. And next to her, Amelia Steiner, 15 years of age from the St Andrews Club. And then Danica Biddle, 14 years of age. So our swimmers in the middle lanes in positions 1, 2 and 3 respectively, all teenagers shining on the big stage.
Swimming away it seems to be as well. Ava Dennis, 1:43.86 as she turns home for that final lap. The girls behind her swimming really fast as well is Amelia Steiner and Danica Biddle in lanes 5 and 3. And this is a really tough event. The 200 freestyle, we need that endurance, we need that speed. There's lots of technique that comes into play too here in this last 15 metres as we look for Ava to get her hand on the wall in that sub 2:20 like this morning.
20 metres to go. And this has been a very controlled and commanding swim from Ava Dennis. 2:20.37.
Great swim there from Ava in 2 minutes 20. 2 minutes 24 in lane 5 from Amelia Steiner and Danica Biddle. These girls had a tough race for that minor placing in terms of the time on the board, but we know with our Paralympic multi-class point score system that the multi-class point score is the most important thing when it comes to our minor placings as well. So we keep an eye on the remaining athletes finishing their race here in the 200 metres freestyle, the final multi-class race of the night for the ladies. Tyra Jensen in lane 1. She'll round out our field, as well as Caitlin Kirby, our S18 swimmer, in lane 9. So a great swim there from Jensen. 3:05.06, backing up from this morning. And a busy schedule for these ladies throughout this competition.
So Caitlin down in lane 9 with 10 metres to go to finish off her race.
Gap there from lane 7 to 9 too, so she's somewhat done it on her own, and 3:34.06 for Caitlin Kirby. And that rounds out the B final here for our multi-class 200 metres freestyle B final of our national championship. So a great swim there from the ladies, and it's going to be Ava Dennis, 438 points, with the leading point score in the B final. Our S19 athlete carrying on from those age championships with that progression into the Open Australian Championships.
Men's 200 free multi-class now. Defending champ Jack Ireland starting from lane 4. But the boom teenager Declan Budd swam impressively this morning, as did Darren Sisman. Expect those three men to be the leading contenders, with a chance conceded to Alexander Tuckfield from lane 6, the 21-year-old from the Aquabits club. Who are you fancying here, Jake?
I think Jack Ireland, he's very experienced, Jack. He was 2 or 3 seconds over his personal best, which is in fact the Australian record this morning. So Jack has got a little bit more experience. He's 26 years of age than the rest of the boys in this field, but we do know that Declan Budd, Darren Sisman, they do have that young buck energy. The boys had a great swim this morning, respectively. 837 points it was for Sisman. Ireland was 871 points. So not only was Jack Ireland the fastest in terms of the time this morning, but he topped the points. It was an awesome race as well. I noted this morning between Leighton and Tuckfield, they really battled at home. So no fear from Tuckfield and Leighton as well, late in the race.
Take your marks.
A pretty even start in the men's 200 freestyle multi-class final. Some very well-credentialed multi-class stars in the pool right now. Jack Ireland in lane 4 looks to be leading the way early. Declan Budd on his left-hand side in lane 3. Darren Sisman in lane 5, and Alex Tuckfield, a World Championship and Paralympic bronze medal winner.
Strong start there from Alex Tuckfield. Jack Ireland was fast this morning, and Alex looks to be making a little bit of a move there on him and trying to keep with him, although there is that lane gap. We know that Jack Ireland is the Australian record holder, is a very balanced swimmer, as is Declan Budd. Some interesting pacing from Sisman this morning. It was nice to see Sisman and Ireland race this morning, and they take the middle lanes. It's going to be Ireland who leads through 55.85 and is narrowly followed there by Tuckfield, 56.01. So it's going to be a battle in the middle. There's a lot of S14s contesting this race. Jack Ireland is the man to beat, though. He's swimming a great third lap, but Tuckfield is going nowhere.
And Declan Budd right up there with them. And you can see Darren Sisman realises he has to get a wriggle on. He's back in 4th position, but he's closed the gap on our leading 3 swimmers. So Ireland with the lead, being challenged now by Declan Budd as they turn with 50 metres to swim.
What a lap there from Declan Budd. He's eyeballing Jack Ireland as well on this last lap, and Alex Tuckfield swimming really strong in lane 6, and Sisman swimming well as well, but it's going to be a race of Budd and Ireland in lanes 3 and 4 there.
So what does Ireland have left in the tank? Declan Budd, the teenager, really taking it to him. It's the experienced campaigner versus the newcomer, and experience wins the day. Jack Ireland gets there in a 155.92, 880 points.
What a
Declan
swim
Budd,
there.
864, and then Sisman, 837. So that was a slashing finish. Jack Island pushed all the way.
That was a great finish in the middle lanes there. Declan Budd, he really gave it everything on that third lap and pushed Jack Island, but I think it was the experience of Jack really shining through. A minute 55.92. He's a really balanced swimmer, is Jack Island. And Darren Sisman, our S14, he was in the third and the bronze medal position there, so he had a great swim. Those boys swimming really well, and we do have our B final now, and I've got my eye on in lane 7. It's Christian Wilson at just 12 years of age from Randwick City.
Wow.
How amazing is that?
Well, we saw him actually swim in the heat. He took it out at a hugely fast pace and managed to just hang on in the end. But at 12 years of age to be swimming here against, well, in the case of Bradley Doolan from lane 0, a 31-year-old, it's pretty brave.
Take your marks.
So running through the field in the men's 200 freestyle multi-class B final, Brad Doolan in lane 0, Daniel Lill lane 1, Levi Harris lane 2, Caden Smith lane 3, Lachlan Lau lane 4, Lockie Belly in lane 5, Cooper Harrington lane 6, Christian Wilson, the 12-year-old in lane 7, Ryan McGrain, 33 years of age, next to him in lane 8, and Russell Boyson in lane 9.
It's a really strong first lap there from the boys, particularly in lane 4 and 5. We have Lauren Belly and our S14 athletes. So lots of S14 athletes in our B final, aspiring to be in that A final, potentially next year at the 2027 championships. But I've got my eyes on here, Tomo. Bellion and Harrington, these boys were silver and bronze in the 16 to 18 years age group at the age championships. So nothing split them there, and nothing splitting them here as well, and it looks to be lane 5. That is Bellion. He's taking it out nice and strong, but he's sandwiching there two other great athletes in lanes 3 and 5, and it's a really fast start. 104 and 105 for the boys.
So Bellion from Lau and Harrington, and then Smith back in 4th position. But as you say, Jake, a very tightly compacted race.
Bellion looks to be hanging on. He's breathing away from lane 4 there, Law, and as he approaches that final lap, he might be able to see him and use that to his advantage on that final lap as they come down to that final turn. There's 3 turns in this 200-metre race, and it's a really tough event. This 200 freestyle turning in a minute 40.07. A second behind is Law, and another second behind is Harrington. All S14 boys in this B final, in those middle lanes in particular, so we know it's a genuine race.
Strong swim from Lockie Bellion from Terralgan in Victoria. He's been in front from the start of this race, and he's going to sustain this effort to go through and win the B final. He's a body length clear, and he touches the wall in first in a good time too. 2:14.20.
Harrington really put his head down that last 5 to 10 metres and made a lot of ground on Law, but it was Law second on the times there, 2 minutes 16.23, and Harrington 2 minutes 16.37. And they're bunched in terms of their point scores there as well. A lot of those mid 500s. And of course, for these boys in the B final, a great opportunity to step up on the national stage with the bright lights and compete the Australian Championship. 604 points, though, is a really competitive score for Ryan McGrain in lane 8, our S18 athlete. So a really competitive B final there from all of these boys in the B final. Jack Island was exceptional in the championship race, but it's going to be these S14 boys over the coming years. 16, 18, 12 years old, some fantastic swims, and 2 minutes 14. It's a really strong swim from our fastest S14 athlete there, Bellion. Law and Harrington, Harris as well, with some really strong swims, balanced across that first and second 100, which is what we want to see. We don't want to see too many drop-offs across that 4-lap race.
So the swimmers are getting ready for the women's 50 metres butterfly final. A race featuring 3 visitors. Hazel Oahan from New Zealand, Ai Soma from Japan, and Zoe Pedersen also from the New Zealand club in lanes 5, 6 and 7, all swimming next to one another respectively. For Australia, Alex Perkins to start from lane 4. She's the reigning national champion from 2025. Of course, this event will be added to the Olympic program in Los Angeles 2028. And Alex Perkins, the silver medal winner in this event at the World Champs in Singapore behind Gretchen Walsh last year. Lily Price, who also lines up in lane 3 in this race, finished in 6th position. A couple of World Championship medals for Alex Perkins last year. It was somewhat of a breakout year for her. Silver in this 50 fly and also bronze in the 100 fly at the World Champs in Singapore. So she really arrived on the international stage.
Yeah, some big swims in the women's 50 butterfly. Interestingly, Alex Perkins holding the Australian record holder, but equaling Holly Barrett. Swims done about 6 years apart, 2019, 2025. And down to the 100th of the second. Fastest qualifier through is Alex Perkins. So Em now looking forward to this 50 metres butterfly. It's going to be a big one.
Sarah Sjöström's world record has stood since 2009. One of the final supersuit world records that remains.
Take your marks.
Swimmers in the pool for the 50 butterfly final. Alex Perkins from Australia in lane 4, Lily Price next to her in lane 5, and then a contingent of overseas swimmers. Oahan from New Zealand, Soma from Japan, Pedersen from New Zealand, but Perkins is powering here. Alex Perkins, one of our medalists at the World Champs from Singapore. That is a sensational swim. She goes on to win in 25.62.
So just outside that Australian record that she shares with Holly Barrett. It would have been nice to just sneak underneath and take it outright for bragging rights, but fantastic swim from Alex Perkins. That really puts her in good stead for the meet.
Hazel Oahan from New Zealand second, and Mackenzie Burns, who's finished in 3rd spot.
So Alex Perkins already having swum the 100 freestyle tonight. A bit of a warm-up for the real event, the 50 butterfly. And doesn't look out of breath at all. So very strong swim. So results from that final on your screen. Oahan coming in 2nd, Burns in 3rd, and Claudia Feidler in 4th. But it was Alex Perkins about half a second ahead of the rest of the field.
A very authoritative win from Alex Perkins. Great to see her continuing to improve in 2026 after a massive campaign last year. She's with Emily.
I'm joined by Alex. What a great swim that was. Obviously, we know that 50s form strokes are now in the Olympics, so something that you will be targeting.
Yeah, definitely. I think it's a great opportunity to have a second swim, so definitely still focusing on the 100, but it's nice to have the 50.
You always have a big program with the 100s and the 50s. Which one of those is your favourite?
The 50's hard to get right because one little thing and your time's a bit slower, but I think it's a bit easier, like effort-wise, than the 100.
That's right, but the 50s, like you said, they're so hard to get right. How many more 50s you got left?
At this meet, or?
Yeah, at this meet.
50 free and 50 back maybe on the last day, we'll see.
Well, exciting racing to come. We loved watching you race tonight. Great job.
Thank you.
Well done, Alex. Another victory for her here at the Australian Open. One of our emerging crop of stars, as we say, particularly over the last 12, 18 months. women's 50 butterfly B final coming up now. And Lizzie Deckers finds herself in a B final. I know she's a very accomplished butterfly swimmer. Most notably, though, over the longer distances, particularly the 200 fly. But taking on the one-lap dash here.
There's a lot to get right in these 50-metre events, as you were talking to Perkins about in the interview. And you get one thing wrong and the whole thing, you can drop a lot of time in a very short amount of distance, can't you?
That's why I always found the 50s really hard. In the 100s and the 200s, there's just more room to move, and if you make a little mistake, it's not a deal breaker. But in those 50s, you get one thing wrong and it's all out.
Take your marks.
Great start from Chloe Rowe-Hagens in lane 4. Came bounding off the blocks. Plenty of white water spraying up with 25 metres to swim in this B final. And this is a very compact field. Hard to know who's in front at the moment. After a good start, Rowe-Hagens is still there. And Jamie DeLutis finishing strongly as well. It's anyone's guess. Rowe-Hagens has got there for the victory. Hannah Casey finishes second. Jess Cole in third and DeLutis in fourth.
Look at those times, though. 27.10 for Rowe-Hagens, 27.11 for Casey, 27.12 for Cole. So 100th of a second separating first to second and second to third. That was a tough one to call. DeLutis in for fourth with another tidy time, 27.20. So some great action there in the 50 metres butterfly for women's in the B final. And much like this morning, we do go from one of the quickest events on the program to one of the biggest.
Yes, the 800 freestyle time final coming up. We'll see Lani Pallister in the pool very shortly. And great to have you with us here. The first evening of finals at the 2026 Australian Open from the Gold Coast Aquatic Centre. That women's 800 freestyle coming up next. A lot of sprint action has been front and centre so far tonight, but we move into the distance event on this evening one program, the women's 800 metres freestyle final. And of course, Lani Pallister, who gave Katie Ledecky the fright of her life in the 800 freestyle final at the Singapore World Champs. And she continued this incredible trajectory of improvement and maybe will take down the champ into LA 2028. I'm sure that's the overall goal for Lani Pallister. What an incredible journey she's been on in the last few years, from one of the emerging swimmers to one of our absolute guns.
She's really gone from strength to strength. She's not known as a short course swimmer, and she always hated it back when I was training with her, but she actually holds the world record in the 800 short course. So I would think when it comes to long course, less turns for her, less underwater, that's something that she would look forward to. So I'm really excited to see her race tonight. Obviously, we know they're not fully tapered for this, but that doesn't mean that they can't produce some amazing times.
No, she's a very strong swimmer, regardless long course or short course, but Lani Pallister's turns are amazing. One of my favourite parts of Lani's stroke is her extension at the back of the stroke. She really makes sure she squeezes every last millimetre out of her strokes. And definitely in a distance event, every millimetre counts. You do that on, what do you reckon, about 30 strokes per lap. It starts adding up pretty quickly.
She does have some very long arms. She's very close to those visitors next to her. A lot of visitors in there tonight. Fairweather, Costa, Deans, Thompson.
2 or 3 on either side of her.
Take your marks.
So Lani Pallister's first appearance at the Australian Open for 2026, swimming out of lane 4 and sandwiched in between a team of New Zealand Olympians. Eve Thomas in lane 2, Caitlin Deans in lane 3 and Erica Fairweather, a former world champion in the 400 metres and a bronze medal winner at the World Championships in Doha back in 2024 in this, the 800. Plus Maria Costa from Brazil and Ching Hui Gan from Singapore. This is a distinctly international feel, but Australia's hopes ride with Lani, who leads after 50 metres.
Yeah, Deans and Pallister lanes 3 and 4, really taking it out hard. So Pallister and Fairweather rather 4 and 5 in the middle of the pool. So Pallister taking them through about 10 metres to swim in this first 100. And you wouldn't think she's got a full 800. That's a very quick pace early on in this race. So Pallister going through, looked to be about a 57-second mark. 58 for Fairweather.
That troublesome touchpad in lane 4 continuing to cause a few issues, but Lani is in the lead. Erica Fairweather there in second position. She made the Olympic final in this event in Paris. Remembering Lani, of course, finished 6th in that Olympic final, but later tested positive to COVID.
Well, if you're going to test positive to something in a race, let's hope it's only something like that. But Lani doing a great job, still leading the rest of the pack by about 1.5 seconds, so extending that lead out. You can see how good she is off the turns and that big extension, using those long arms, as Em said. But that beautiful flick at the back, you can really see how much she powers that stroke. That sets up her recovery and sets up the next stroke. She doesn't look like she's swimming at 800. This is a very quick swim. Still looking for a split there in lane 4, but probably right on that 2-minute mark, maybe even a 1:59. She is solidly ahead of Fairweather in 5.
I don't know I've seen too many braver swims than Lani's swim against Katie Ledecky in Singapore. It was just a race for the ages. Every time Katie tried to kick her off, Lani kept coming, and it was just the most breathtaking finish.
She is one of the most dedicated athletes I've seen out there. She really trains super hard, and she's really self-critical of herself. But she's come into this beautiful, positive swimming attitude right now, and I think that really shows, and that's why she's really excelling so well. She's only 23 years of age. She's still so young. So she still has so much energy inside of her, and I think she just narrows in on that swimming ever so slightly more than what she used to, and I think that really makes her a happy fast swimmer. Matt, we always talk about happy swimmers are fast swimmers, and she always looks exceptionally happy when she's out there.
Yeah, it can be a real positive spiral if you get it right or a negative, and Lani's definitely in that positive mind frame. Turns at the 300-metre mark, bang on 3 minutes. So she's holding a very good pace at this stage, and a nice lead over Fairweather there in 5. All those visitors around her, Thomas, Deans, Fairweather, Costa and Gan, just not able to hold on to the blistering pace that Pallister is putting down. She's had a lot of experience, has Lani, and as you said before, Matt, getting over the top of one of the best in Singapore, and she's putting that all into practice now. It's not a matter of who she's racing in the field, she's pretty much racing herself every time. So coming down to the halfway mark, and she's going to turn just over the 4-minute mark, so holding roughly 4:02, or 1:02s rather, turning into 4:02, so just over the minute mark each 100. It's a great place to be in this 800. Her fastest an 8:05. She's going to be a bit off that tonight, but she's still going to be well ahead of the rest of the field, and this puts her in good stead coming into a meet where she will actually be rested.
Well, our camera might have to pan out a little further if this continues on, because Lani leads by about 15 metres at the moment, or only just past the halfway mark. Incredible dominance.
We know that it can be challenging being so far in front. You can't see on the screen. You can see Dean out there on the side whistling and throwing his arms up. So he's helping her stay on track, helping her with that pacing. But she's doing a great job just pulling away even more every lap as she turns. She's just pulling away from the rest of the field. So she's using that coach's whistle to stay on track and make sure that she can keep moving at a great pace, which she's doing a great job of, and battle for that second, third position at the moment.
Yeah, Dean Boxall looking on at his charge in the middle of the pool, making sure she keeps that pace up. And I've got to say, I'm very impressed that she's been able to keep that pace going for the whole time. She's took it out very quickly. I thought maybe she wants to make a bit of a break and then settle back. Well, she's not settling back at all. 250 metres to swim in this 800 metres freestyle, and she's not backing off at all. Second place looks to be a bit of a battle, though. We have Fairweather and Costa, two visitors, second and third. Only about 0.2 of a second separating them, so plenty to swim for in this 800 freestyle, but it's Lani in a different postcode at this stage.
And Erica Fairweather, as I mentioned, previous World Championship medalist in this event. She's been a world champion in the 400. She's an Olympic finalist, so she's a well-credentialed swimmer, and Lani is making an absolute mess of them. She leads by 25 metres.
Costa doing a good job coming over the top of Fairweather. So this is a very talented, very strong field, and that just goes to show how strong Pallister's swim is. So coming down 150 metres to swim. She'll know exactly where she is. She's got almost, what do you reckon, Em, about 20 metres on the rest of the field?
Yeah, probably coming up to 25 now as she turns through in that 6:38.46. She's doing a great job staying in the middle of the lane. You can see her legs. She's let them go ever so slightly. She's more of that upper body swimmer. She's doing a great job. She's so powerful and she's so strong. And she's just dominating this 800 freestyle.
Well,
she'll hear the bell now.
And let's see if the kick rises for the last 100.
Well, she broke the Australian record that was previously held by Ariane Titmus last year. 8:05.98. I wonder if that is potentially on the cards. The world record, Katie Ledecky, 8:04.12. This is an incredible exhibition of dominance by Lani Pallister.
So turning there with 50 metres to go, a 7:41. So she'll be looking around that 8:11 mark, I would think, when she's coming in. She should be able to finish off in around a 30 point, maybe somewhere in that region. So 25 metres to swim, and she is not backing off whatsoever. If anything, the kick is the strongest it's been for the whole 800. And head down, taking less and less breaths as she comes down to the wall.
She's really hammering towards the home touch, and she gets there in 8:11.28. And have a look at the margin between Lani and the rest of the field. It's Maria Costa who's going to go home and finish in second. Erica Fairweather in third, but a long way back.
It's great when the best really show how it's done. 8:11 is a very strong swim from Lani Pallister. The all-comers record, that 8:10.84. So just outside that mark. Just showing how strong that is as we wait for our final swimmers coming into the wall. So last of our individual swims for this first night of action here at the Australian Open, night one. Relays to come, but What a good way to finish off our individual swims with a dominant display in the women's 800 freestyle.
Yes, she is an athlete that people turn out to watch these days. The one and only Lani Pallister, and that was a stunning exhibition.
Even the
sheer
finish
dominance.
there, even the finish there, Matt, you know, she still stretches out. She finishes the race like she's trying to touch someone out. And that's what you got to do at the top. So the times are official as the competitors exit the pool. And Lani's time of 8:11.28, very strong. So she'll be heading over to MC Bomb to have a quick chat. Em, how did she go?
If you need a few, just let me know.
Yes, I think she's still trying to get her breath back after that incredible performance. She's poolside with Emily, and they can catch up for a chat now. Yes, Em.
Lani, you've had quite the race there, but also quite a little spew there as well. How are you feeling?
That's horrendous. I feel like I've made a habit of throwing up post-race, which I'm sure Dean will be happy with because it showed I tried really hard. But I'm pretty happy with that. I was 8:19 in China 2 weeks ago at the China Open in Shenzhen, and then dropping 8 seconds coming here is really, I think it's a good stepping stone going into Pan Pacs, commies and trials and that sort of thing this year.
You have had an outstanding year. What has been the #1 thing that you look back on and go, wow, that was an amazing moment?
I guess if you take results aside, because I think the results speak for themselves, is when I moved to Brisbane, I didn't really know what to expect of living in the city and being in a new squad, but everyone at St. Peter's is just so incredible, and moving to Dean, being with Mick as well, has just been the most incredible year, and I think it's really cool moving forward going into this Olympic cycle, and they're helping me achieve all the dreams I ever wanted and more. But thanks to my mum, obviously, and Michael Boll as well, who had me for the past forever. They're probably the 4 most influential people in my career and life so far, so yeah.
And what about breaking a world record short course? Does that come into play at all?
Yeah, I think so. I would say my long course 800 probably means a little bit more to me. I didn't think at that point that I'd be that close to being near the world record with an 8:04.1 and me being an 8:05.9, but yeah, I think there's too many moments results-wise that I'm really happy with from last year to pick one.
Well, you've had a fantastic year. What are you looking forward to this year?
I think commies is really exciting. I had the most incredible trip in 2022, and I think it's really important for inclusivity and having the para team with the able-bodied team as well. It's just such a fun trip going away with them and being able to hang out with everyone all combined. I've met a couple of the young para guys that are hopefully qualifying for their first team already this week. So yeah, I just think it's a really special opportunity for everyone involved.
Now, we know that Guide Dogs Australia will be on deck tomorrow. Are you excited to check that out?
So excited. I know Shayna brought them into St. Peter's at the end of last year. I think just before we went to World Champs. So she has a partnership with Guide Dogs, which is really special that she's been able to bring it in here as well.
We're excited to touch some dogs tomorrow, but fantastic racing tonight. That was an incredible swim, incredible nails, and we can't wait to see the rest of your meet.
Thanks, C-Bomb.
Always good to catch up with Lani, and I can tell you she now owns the 3 fastest times ever by an Australian in the 800 freestyle, and all 3 of those have come since June last year, Matt.
And she probably threw up after each one of them.
Yes. She certainly leaves nothing behind.
She's a remarkable athlete and throws everything at it. Speaking of throwing everything at it, we've got the teams up, the club relays, and they really do throw everything at this. There is a lot of club pride on the line. This is the medley relay. We start off with the backstroke, and you can see them putting the backstroke ledges in. The backstroke onto the breaststroke, butterfly, and finish off with the freestyle.
Well, without getting too far ahead of ourselves here, I reckon St. Peter's Western are eyeing off a sweep. They've got some of the heavyweight swimmers in the country. Yes.
They've got 2 teams, so St. Peter's Western B and A. So we start off with the first of our timed finals. And we've got 5 teams, and then we have a stacked deck in the second of the timed finals with all of our A teams. So lots of points on offer and some more opportunities to get up and race. Some of these boys, this will be the first time they've raced this meet, so this is an important one for them.
Take your marks.
So the 4x100 metres, the medley relays underway. St Peter's Western lane 2. Nicholas Nankervis swimming backstroke. MLC Marlins, Hayden Hwang, Cranbrook, James Crosby, University of Queensland, Kieran Lee's in the water, and Rackley represented by Ethan Harvey.
Oh, the swimmers love these club relays. They get to swim with their best mates that they train day in and day out. And the medley relay is a great opportunity for the best in each of the disciplines to get up and race for some club points. So first heat halfway through, or coming down to about 3/4 of the way through that backstroke leg. Great thing about these individual medley relays, and any relay for that matter, is that the lead will chop and change. So a nice lead there from St Peter's in lane 2, but anything is possible.
So Nankervis hands over to Brendan Smith. In the water now for the MLC Marlins, William Brownlee for Cranbrook. Jack Curves, Charlie Sewell for University of Queensland, and Jordan Greensill for Rackley.
Now into the breaststroke leg. And again, we will see different strengths from different swimmers coming through. In fact, Brownlee there from MLC Marlins just taking that lead back from Brendan Smith. Third through Charlie Sewell. It's an important leg, this breaststroke, setting themselves up for the butterfly leg. The swimmers will be getting up on the blocks any second now. It's important to make sure you have a good, clean changeover. The rules are, as long as you're still touching the block when they touch the wall, it is legal. So you'll see them wind up before they even get there and time it just right.
It was a good finish there by Brendan Smith. He'd been clearly headed by William Brownlee, but he won back the lead for St Peter's Western on the wall. Hugh Dole now swimming butterfly for the St Peter's Western B team. Liam Philby for the MLC Marlins. Then Marcus De Silva for Cranbrook. Liam Simmons, University of Queensland, and Lewis Bishop for Rackley.
Well, very big butterfly leg there from our St Peter's B team. Hugh Dole taking that lead away from MLC Marlins, Liam Philby. And coming down to the final freestyle leg, this is going to be a great sight for his final teammate to see, inheriting a solid lead in this first of the timed finals.
And it's none other than Elijah Winnington, swimming the freestyle leg for St Peter's Western, who have a very commanding lead. Colin Touch in the water for the MLC Marlins. William Jeffrey for Cranbrook. Thomas Greatorex from the University of Queensland, and Ethan Guthrie finishing off for Rackley with the freestyle leg. But Winnington powering ahead. The St Peter's Western, always so hard to beat in these club relays, given the sheer strength of the program there under Dean Boxall.
Yeah, and if you're going to have someone like Elijah Winnington anchoring your relay, you're in a pretty good spot. With 15 metres to swim, he's not holding back at all. These swimmers not only racing the people in this race, but the people in the next. So that's why he's racing hard. 3:47.81 for St Peter's B. We'll compare that against our second timed final. Second to Touch is Touch from MLC Marlins, 3:55.53. And William Jeffrey home third for Cranbourne, 3:56.83. So, as said, we'll compare those times with the second timed final. And that will determine our final rankings and placings for the event.
So a big margin there in the end for the St Peters Western B team. Their A team, incredibly strong. Jack Cartwright, Bailey Lello, Kai Taylor, Jamie Jack. That's going to take some beating.
That's the Australian team, is it?
That could quite comfortably step into a Dolphins outfit.
So a lot of pride on the line, as I said, in these club relays, but the medley relay really is something special. Fastest from each of the disciplines. So we do a full announcement here for the fastest of the timed finals. They get presented to the crowd.
A couple of very well-credentialed athletes for the Bond team. Flynn Southam will swim freestyle. Ben Armbruster, the Dolphin representative, to do the butterfly. Josh Collett in the breaststroke. We've seen him earlier swim well in the 200 final.
And we know how much they'll push it because they've got their teammates to worry about. I want to give them the best start they can.
Take your marks.
So the fastest of the timed finals underway now, and St Peters Western with Jack Cartwright in the water, leading out of lane 6. But the centre lane starting to pull through. Matthew Magnuson from Nudgee College, Canberra Wilson Moran from Bond. And it is Wilson Moran who turns after 50 metres in the lead. So Bond leading from Nudgee after the first 50, and they turn to come home for this second lap of the backstroke.
Magnuson there in lane 3 looking strong as well, but those huge arms of Wilson Moran is putting him in good stead, and that's a great lead to hand over to Joshua Collett. So 56.59 there for the Bond University to take the lead early on in this race, and a great changeover there from Josh Collett. Not that much on the wall, but he really made the most of the changeover and the split stroke.
Finlay Schuster from Nudgee College next to him in lane 3. Lachlan Chan from Nunawading in lane 5, and the St Peters team have got to get going here. We talked about how they're a star-studded lineup. Well, they're well back in the field. Bailey Lello with some work to do to pull them back into contention. They're in 7th spot at the moment, but it's Josh Collett swimming strongly for Bond.
Really looking forward to seeing what St Peters Western are doing here tonight, whether they're spreading the love with their two teams. We do have Bailey Lello in the water at the moment, Kai Taylor up next, and Jamie Jack to finish in the freestyle. So very intrigued to see what St Peters will be doing with their two teams tonight.
So Bond with the change in the lead. Ben Armbruster in the water for them. It's a Nunawading in 2nd position. Hannah and Lavelle will take over with this butterfly leg. And up in lane 3, well, it's Harrison Turner from Nudgee College. So he's the best butterfly swimmer in Australia, and he's got a bit of work to do to try and claw back the lead here. Well, the team from Bond swimming very strongly. Ben Armbruster out in front by a couple of body lengths.
He's a strong swimmer, is Ben Armbruster, formerly based on the Sunshine Coast and now at Bond. As he approaches that final 5 metres, we look for a great changeover, and it's a commanding swim here from Bond over the first 3 lengths.
Now Flint Southam, his team in very much the box seat at the moment. This has been a stunning performance from the Bond outfit. Led from the first leg, and seemingly this lead has just increased as the race has progressed. Flynn turns with a couple of body length advantage.
It's going to be really hard to catch this Flynn Southam here. He's got 25 metres to go, and I don't think anyone's catching Bond. A really strong swim from start to finish. Looks like lane 3, Nudgee College might be closing in on that silver medal.
But it is all Bond who go through to win this time final, 3:39.19. Nudgee College second, Nunawading in third. And Jamie Jack with a good final leg for St Peters Western to finish in fourth position.
44.35 there from Jamie Jack and the St Peters Western team. Beating the time of their B team from Heat 1, or time final number 1 there, you could say, but it was dominant performance there. 3:39.19 from Bond, Flynn Southam and the Bond team in that second time final. Looked like all of the men there really pushing themselves from start to finish. It's 10 p.m. here on this Easter Monday, and some great swimming. It looks like they're really putting in for not only just a strong performance tonight for their racing, but training as well. This is all training for these gentlemen tonight.
So a big win in the end for Team Bond ahead of Nudgee College and Nunawading. So 3:39.19, the leading time in these time finals. Last event of the opening day's action here at the Gold Coast Aquatic Centre. It's time for the girls, the mixed medley relay, or the medley relay, I should say, for the women. St Peters Western. Now, if we thought that the previous St Peters Western team was stacked, how about Molly O'Callaghan, Jenna Forrester, Lizzie Deckers and Shayna Jack? Jake, that's pretty handy.
That's a pretty handy team, and I wasn't quite sure what the men were doing there. There was a 3-second differential between the A and B team, but it looks like this A team for St Peters Western is certainly an A team. Molly O, Jenna Forrester, Lizzie Deckers and Shayna Jack. But still, Hannah Fredericks, Steph McCarthy, Davison McGovern and Miller Jensen, a really strong team for the B team as well. But Bond with the win in the men, a strong team in the women too by the looks of it. They'll be brought home by Hannah Casey. Just the one-time final for the women. This will be the final race of the night. Really looking forward to this one, Tomo.
Yes, anytime you get to see the likes of Molly O'Callaghan in the pool, it's always most exciting.
Doing the backstroke too, not doing the freestyle in this one.
Take your marks. Final race of the evening, St Peters Western, Molly O'Callaghan doing the backstroke, Logan Vikings, Abigail Reynolds, Southport. The home team, Kayla McFarlane, Layla Day for Bond in lane 4. Semra Olawani of Nunawading in lane 5. Lexi Harrison from Manly. Lane 6, lane 7, Surrey Park. Judy Hussein Aman, and the second of the St Peters Western outfits represented by Hannah Fredericks in lane 8.
Strong start over on the far side of the pool of us here, Tomo. In lane 1 is the St Peters Western team. We shouldn't be surprised though. Molly O'Callaghan leading the way, 29.10 on the first lap. Let's see what she can do in the backstroke leg. She's already been in action tonight in a fantastic 100-metre freestyle win. She closes in with 15 metres to go, and she's going to hand over.
So it might be the two St Peters Western teams on opposite sides of the pool. Although poking through in the middle there, the Bond University outfit. But it is St Peters Western first and second. Molly O'Callaghan handing over to Jenna Forrester. Hannah Fredericks to Steph McCarthy. And Tilly King takes over for Bond.
Keep an eye out for Bond there. Tilly King, we know she's a fantastic breaststroker. Jenna Forrester's had a really busy night tonight. This will be our third race of the night for Jenna. And Steph McCarthy in there for the other St Peter's Western team. So these three teams looking really strong at this stage, and moving on up is lane 3 as well. That's the Southport team.
So King trying to drag her team Bond up closer to these leaders. I think she might have bridged the gap a little bit here, but Jenna Forrester maybe narrowly ahead. St Peter's Western at the top of the pool. That's their A team. But this is a sensational leg by Tilly King. She's pulled right through. And Jenna's had a very busy day, maybe a little bit of fatigue setting in, and Bond are going to take the front. Great breaststroke leg. Tilly King handing over to Claudia Feidler. Lizzie Decker's in the pool for St Peter's Western A. In third position now.
Keep an eye on
the
Lizzie
team from
Deckers.
Nunawading, sorry, Jake, and then Jacqueline Davison McGovern for St Peter's Western B out in lane 8.
Absolutely, and keep an eye on Lizzie Deckers there on that second lap. We know she's a 200-metre butterflyer, but she's going to have to make up a little bit of ground. That's a fantastic first split there from Claudia Feidler, so she needs to put her head down in this final 50 of the butterfly leg as we're about to turn into the freestyle. It is going to be a race of these two teams, but lane 5 as well. It's Bella Boyd making a bit of a move from Nunawading. So it seems to be these three teams that'll be the teams to catch. But it's going to be Bond that hand over in front for the freestyle leg.
Fantastic swim, as you say. Isabella Boyd from Nunawading brings that team right into contention. So Bond lead the way. Hannah Casey swimming this freestyle leg. Shayna Jack dives in for St Peter's Western, and Abby Kearney for Nunawading. And St Peter's Western B with Miller Jansen.
Shayna Jack's look great. Shayna Jack, my apologies, looks great over there in lane 1, but you never know what's going to happen in a relay final. Shayna Jack, you would think, is the one to catch here, and she is going to turn in front with 50 metres to go. She's going to make it hard for Hannah Casey from Bond. There's a little bit of a gap in lanes between the two there. Closely followed in third by the Nunawading club. As we approach that final 25, Hannah Casey looking really strong, making it hard for Jack.
This is quite the way to end today's program. Shayna Jack being pushed the entirety of this final lap. Shayna just in front by a shade and gets there. Victory for St Peter's Western A, with Shayna Jack doing the job in the final 50. Great swim, Hannah Casey. That hands second place to Bond. Nunawading, who finished in third.
What a finish there. Hannah Casey made it really hard from Shayna Jack. They were a couple of lanes apart, but I'm sure they knew exactly where each other was. And Nunawading, a great third leg there from Isabella Boyd on the butterfly leg to put them in contention. A strong third leg, and with the bronze medal there for the Nunawading club. 4 minutes 10.07.
So a strong way to end the day's action here at the Gold Coast Aquatic Centre. It's been certainly action-packed from earlier this morning into late in the evening. And St Peter's Western victorious from Bond and Nunawading in the women's 4x100 metres medley relay. Make sure you rejoin us right around Australia on the Wild Water Sports. You can watch us on 9 now, every session live tomorrow morning, 9 a.m. Australian Eastern Standard Time for heat action on day 2. Thanks for your company from the Australian Open 2026 Day 1. Look forward to joining you tomorrow.
This has been another presentation from Nine's Wide World of Sports.